Oh, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? How exciting! Hey guys, how you going? So down Breakout Sport. We are live as the rugby league season gets underway. How exciting, man. We have waited too long, son. Waited too long since the Pacific Cup and the Pacific Bowl and that Australia versus England international series, which Australia cleaned that set. Oh, we cleaned it up. This is a year of the Rugby League World Cup, so we've got plenty of action coming up later on. But the NRL Preseason gets underway today. This is the first day of what is about to be a big-time rugby league season here. I'm excited to do it along with you again, as we always do every single year. But this year, we're going to be live for every single game of rugby league when it comes to Australia, when it comes to the World Cup, when it comes to Origin. It is going to be really, really exciting. So if you haven't already, click on that subscribe button. We're going to be here through it all with you. Also, we've got the T20 World Cup on right now. So we've got Bulldogs versus Cowboys now. And then later on today, we will also have the Newcastle Knights taking on the Cowboys in it. Let me just make sure here. It's only 2 games today, and yet I'm a little bit confused. No, sorry, it's the St. George Illawarra Dragons and the Newcastle Knights. This game is the Bulldogs versus the Cowboys. And then next week is when you'll see pretty much every team get underway. Well, you will see every team get underway, followed by round 3, where you will not see these 4 teams playing because obviously they'll be in Vegas. But look, it's going to be a big year, guys. In the preseason, I really need to reiterate to everybody that the preseason is the preseason. If your team does not win, it does not matter. The point of the preseason is not to be looking at it for wins and losses. When it gets to the regular season, of course, you need to win every single game. You need to win as many games as possible. But in these games, it is literally just about seeing the hit out, just seeing how these teams get on with these young players. We're going to go through the 2-team lineups. You're not going to know many of them, and you won't know many of them until probably round 3 of the preseason, because next week is the first week of preseason for most of the clubs as well. You will have some plays here and there, like you guys, like you Samuel Hughes that you'll know, Gordon Chen-Kum-Tong you'll know, Lipboy Hapui, Sammy McIntyre, Helam Lukey, Thomas McKaylee. The Cowboys have actually gone with a relatively stronger lineup today. We did do a preseason video that came out, I think, on Wednesday or Tuesday, where we discussed like the ins and outs and what these teams were looking like going into the preseason. And there are a few names that you will know. But overall, it's not something that you should really care too much about in the ups and downs. These are more just about watching and getting a good read for the fitness levels and whatnot. Now, I will mention some of the rule changes here for the 2026 NRL season. They did scrap the idea of the kickoff rule, so that video changes. When I did the ups and downs, the rises and fallers video for 2026, and I included the Broncos as a faller based off of the rule because I did think that rule was actually going to play against their momentum and power style that they came with the back end of 2025 season, where they were winning all their games in the back end of games and with the comebacks. I thought that was going to impact them, but that's not even there anymore. So remove the Broncos from that list. I'm still happy with the other 3 that I did put, but remove the Broncos there from that list, and we'll probably update our other team at a later date on a video. But the rule changes this year that are confirmed. Trainer rules. We know why this has been implemented. Trainers will be restricted from entering the field of play to prescribe and clearly define circumstances. Interchange rules. Teams may interchange 4 players from a squad of 6 players. So there is 6 players on the bench, but you can interchange 4 players from that 6-player squad. Then you've got 0 tackle in goal. There will be no 7 tackle set following a knock-on in goal by the attacking team. And then you've also got the restarting tackle count, which is set restarts will be awarded beyond the 20-metre line, replacing the current 40-metre threshold, which is very, very interesting in regards to that one. It's a really kind of weird one overall. So basically, you're not necessarily going to get a penalty if you're 25 metres out from your own line. You might just get a 6 again, which doesn't really help you that much. It doesn't really help you that much. You want the penalty. You absolutely want that penalty, especially if you're at the 35-metre line. A penalty will get you into an attack and set. But if you're getting a 6 again at the 35-metre line, it's like, okay, well, you're going to put yourself into a good range to kick the ball, a better range to kick the ball, but overall, there's still a mountain of work there. So you're kind of limiting the positive, the advantage that the team receiving the penalty would get, which, kind of frustrates me a little bit. But I'm interested to see and hear your thoughts on all of that. I'm just going to put this little bad boy on mute here. as we get underway. So they're the rules. Let us know in the chat what your thoughts are of those new rules and the NRL changing it all up yet again. But that is common. We do see rule changes every single year now, don't we? But what I was saying before we do get into these two-team lineups here, we are doing these two games, and then later on tonight we've got the India versus USA T20 World Cup game. The World Cup has started. It's on now. The Pakistan versus the Netherlands is on right now, and there's another game afterwards, but I can't do these two games because the NRL is my priority here on the channel. But when the NRL isn't on, I will be streaming every single one of the T20 World Cup. So, like I said, thumbs up, subscribe. Let's get into these two-team lineups. So the Canterbury Bulldogs, they will play host to the North Queensland Cowboys here at Jubilee Stadium in Sydney, the home of the Dragons. It is a doubleheader. The Dragons playing later on against the Newcastle Knights. Now the Bulldogs, their team, the fullback is Tay Cochrane. The wingers Cooper Toy and Jonathan Sewer. Centres of Sasaya Alatini and Jed Reardon. Go to the 5'8". Joseph Talpa and Alex Conti is the halfback, with the front row forwards being Samuel Hughes, and Fletcher Baker comes in off the bench into the starting front row. But you will see just a lot of changes in regards to the interchange because they can use a lot more in the preseason. Then you got the number 9, which is Gordon Chancum Tong, comes across from the Manly. Now he is at the Doggies, and the back rowers are Ella Colosimi Jones and Logan Spinks. 13 is Lipoi Hopoi. Interchange of Sisefa Finau, Zion Mai'u comes across from the Warriors, Eamon Fitzgibbon, and there is no number 17 here for the Bulldogs, which is weird. But anyway, the reserves, Jack Underhill, Raymond Puru, Hamish Wilson, Jope Range, Mikey Nassar, Justin Matamua comes across from the Tigers, Bud Smith, Bailey Myers, and Louis Grossemi, with the coach obviously being Cameron Serraldo. You will see all the interchange and reserves included in these preseason games. It is not like the regular season where you are only allowed to use 4 of that 6-man bench. You will see pretty much every single person play in today's game. Now for the North Queensland Cowboys, the fullback is Mason Barber, with the wingers being Robert Darby and Jackson Bolo. Centres of Zach Labart and Liam Sutton. You got the 5'8", Jackson Purgey, with the halfback being Jake Clifford. Then the front row forwards are Harrison Edwards and Thomas McKaylee, who is the captain. Number 9 is Xavier Kerisk. Go to the back row, Hylam Lukey and Kai O'Donnell, with the 13th being Sammy McIntyre. And then the interchange being Zach Herdigan, Caden Lars, Mason Kira, and Matthew Watts. And the reserves are Credence Toya, Ronald Fudatoga, Maddox Goodwin, Whittam McGregor comes across from the Eels, Tyler Moriarty, Joseph Doyle, Isaiah Alatu, Mitchell Press, and Atasi James, with Todd Payton as the coach. Atasi James, was he Panthers? I feel like he may have been at the Panthers, or maybe I'm thinking about somebody else there, Atasi James. Anyway, the point is, the players that you'll know across these two teams that are playing today, you would have probably heard of Jed Reardon. You would have probably heard of Jonathan Sewer, but there's no guarantees there. Casuals won't know too much about those guys, and they definitely won't know a lot about the others. You will know Samuel Hughes because he is in and out of that Dogs team quite regularly. Gordon Chancum Tong, you should have a good idea about from his Manly days. Fletcher Baker, you would have heard from Broncos and Roosters. That is Fletcher Baker, yeah, I think so. And then Lipoi Hopoi, you would have seen because he has been there or thereabouts, this Dogs team. Zion Ma'uu, if you know enough about rugby league and the NRL, you would have heard his name across the ditch at the New Zealand Warriors. Maybe you might have heard of Raymond Puru. You probably would have heard about Justin Matamua. I've spoken about him a couple of times here, quite a few bit on the channel when he was at the Tigers. I really liked him, just didn't kick on at the Tigers. And that's about it there for the Dogs. And then for the Cowboys, they've got a much stronger lineup here. You definitely would have known Robert Derby. You would also know Zach Labart, Jackson Bolo from his Manly, and Roosters. And at least had Rabbitohs Roosters. Was he also Rabbitohs? I think it was Rabbitohs Manly Roosters, wasn't he? Could be wrong on the chat. But Jackson Bolo, then Jackson Purdue, he will be absolutely in this team this year. You know him. Jake Clifford, you know him. Harrison Edwards, you would know him. Thomas McKaylee, you would know him. Hylam Lukey, Kai O'Donnell, Sam McIntyre. Their forward pack, you pretty much know all of them, except for Xavier Kerisk. Not their full straight forward pack by any stretch of the imagination. But you would know pretty much all of these guys. And then Caden Lars, you've probably heard of. Credence Toya, you might have heard there or thereabouts. Whittam Grigg, you probably know from his Parramatta Eels days. And that's about it. So this is what I'm really reiterating here, guys. This is what I'm trying to say. Do not take too much impact of the result of this game. Get excited, be happy, and enjoy the fact that rugby league is back, and we are going to get like 36 weeks straight of rugby league. And I don't even know if that includes the Rugby League World Cup. But we're about to get an absolute bunch of rugby league into your system, man. So get excited about it. But obviously hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Let's get to the chat and let's see what you are saying. Let's go Rubble League. Let's go Rubble League. Olivia Reed, and she's back. She's back. She's nearly off to England. She's ditching us for the Bombs. She's going to see Jacko. That's what you're doing, aren't you, Olivia? You're not going to go watch the Broncos. You're going to go see Jacko. Oh, dearie me. God help you, you know. But we are back, bitches, with the $8 Redo donation. Get around you, Olivia. Thank you very much. Appreciate you for the dono, as per usual. Dad's mate says Jackson Paulo versus Cooper Toy going to feed families. Yeah, what a fantastic matchup there. That's exactly what I was looking forward to for the entire offseason. I was like, look, who cares about watching, the Broncos versus the Panthers in a rematch of that preliminary final in this season, the regular season. I'm looking for Jackson Paulo versus Cooper Toy in the preseason between the Bulldogs and the Cowboys. Yeah, for sure. Olivia says Storm fans would have loved watching that highlight replay of the grand final. I don't think the Storm have ever beaten the Broncos in the grand final, because they played them in 2006 and they lost 15-8, and then obviously they lost last year in a nail biter. So the Broncos, whilst the Storm seem to always get the hoodoo over the Broncos when it comes to like the regular season, normally they beat them, and they have a better record, I believe, at Suncorp than the Broncos do. But with that being said, it's like the Broncos just have it over the Storm. It's like the Broncos have it over the Storm when it comes to the absolute crunch of it all. Hello Madrid says NRL Preseason is back, baby. NRL is so back. It's so back. Nate says we've got Cowboys 1-12, hopefully. For gosh sake, Nate, what are we doing betting on the preseason? What? We're going to see 3 different games here. Or we're definitely going to see at least 2 games. You're going to see the first half be one team, and you're going to see the second half be another team, but you're also going to see multiple times changes. It's like unlimited changes, unlimited subs and whatnot here in the preseason. So, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? How do you know what's going to happen here? But with that being said, I do think the Cowboys will win this game. Lagan says it's enough to make a grown man cry, and that's okay. Fire up, that is okay. Yeah, cry away. I'll cry many times over here on this channel. You know me. The Titans, they get me going all the time. I think I cried in round 27 last year when we won. We won a game to not finish last against the Tigers, who we always beat. And I was tearing up. Yeah, but that's how passionate I am of the game and the team. So, I'm always happy to do it. The Aussie Labs is g'day, mate, from Brussels in Belgium. Get around you all the way in Belgium. I'm in Vietnam. I'm currently in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh. So we're both traveling the world. KJH says, I can't wait for the World Club Challenge. Why don't we just, do the preseason first? Why don't we just do, Multiverse Indigenous first? We're already looking towards the World Club Challenge. Why don't we just think about now? Why don't we just think about that now? Great to have the footy back, baby, as this sport says. Absolutely. Olivia says, why can't they get the basics right before adding new things? It's a great damn well question. Everyone says Netherlands are so far 45 from 2 wickets. Yeah, so I definitely appreciate you updating me because I do want to know about how that T20 World Cup is going. We will be live for the India-USA game tonight. I know it's 65 for 3 now. Through 8 overs, but only update me through big things happening if it's a wicket or the end of the innings kind of deal. Dazzle Sports says, hello Blaze, I'm so happy the footy is back up the wires. Yeah, good luck to the wires this year. As it says, rules change. Feels like Vlandy making that beautiful game OzTag. Well, how do the rules changes make it look like OzTag? How do these rule changes impact the physicality of it? There's no rule changes that impact the actual physicality in that sense. What do you mean by it's like OzTag now? As this says, kickoff rules, one of the dumbest rules. Well, the kickoff rule hasn't been implemented. It hasn't come in. Shati's getting around it. Will you be streaming any games of the T20 World Cup today? India versus USA, I'll be live for. Azu says, I was so ready to see Finau Latu, so unfortunate. Yeah, absolutely. Jono says, hey, is it televised on Channel 9? I don't think it'll be televised on Channel 9. None of the preseason probably will be. It'll all be on KO. I watch it through watchnrl.com. I pay $44 a month, but I'm international, so I get it. I could watch it for free on, an illegal streaming service, and it's kind of fine because I'm overseas, but I want to go the right way. So no, I pay for the watchnrl.com whilst being overseas. Joe Farmoni says, hey guys, and Blaze, hope you guys have had a great start to 2026. So excited how close we are to round 1. I can't wait for the season. Yeah, no, it's going to be massive. No, it's going to be huge because 2025 was such an incredible year. The way the Broncos were able to win that premiership was fantastic. It changed the direction of the comp where you saw this monopoly, and it was only the Roosters, the Panthers, and the Storm kind of deal since 2007. That's 2017, sorry. Before that, Sharkies and Cowboys and all that sort of stuff, but since 2017 it was Roosters, Storm, Panthers, the Broncos, right? So it was really good to see, regardless of your thought process on the Brisbane Broncos, it was really good to see a brand new winner come through. And the game was so fast, it was electric, it was exciting. Get around my boy Kieran Foran here, a part of the KO team. He's just such an awesome dude, so proud of him, and how far he's come to be able to be now on KO as one of the on the broadcast and whatnot. Such an awesome guy. Logan says Powerhouse Dogs of War versus Cow Ponies. Well, listen, it's going to be tough for you because I do not think the Doggies win today. But again, it doesn't matter. It just does not matter at all. Harrison is the type of the bloke to bet on these sort of games. You probably will see him at some point. You probably will. Oh, tomorrow's game is... Well, there's no game tomorrow, Jono. Cheers, brother. Tomorrow's game is televised on Channel 9. There is no game tomorrow. There's only these 2 preseason games this week because these are the teams that are going to be heading across to the Las Vegas games. So that's why it's 1 week earlier for these 4 teams. They won't play in round 3 because they'll be travelling. But there is no game tomorrow. So how is there a game being televised on Channel 9 tomorrow? I guess I watched this Dribble Fest before the main event after. Oh, yes. No, because the Dragons and Knights is salivating, mate. That is the one that we all wait for. Yeah, no, the Bulldogs and the Cowboys is the Dribble Fest, not the one that involves the wooden spoons from last year. Yes, Brenton, thank you. Acidic says, hell yeah, babe, we are back. We absolutely are back. Lagan says, how about Foz? They're definitely top 10 Australian of all time. You need help, dude. You do. You need help. Did you end up getting that bloody mug, by the way? The weird first mug? Did you end up ever getting that? Nay says, I predict a minimum of 8 Broncos away games at Suncorp this season. Oh, look, I think you're underestimating it. I think you really are underestimating it, to be honest with you. I would not be surprised if they change the draw and they have the Broncos play all 27 games at Suncorp Stadium. And there is only 24, but even their bye is going to be held at Suncorp Stadium. So we're going to get all the fans down there just to watch, highlights of the grand final from last year. So that's basically what the Broncos are planning. So, they'll get all their games at home this year, that's for sure. Like the shirt, Blaze? Yeah, it's a beautiful shirt, mate. Chicago Cubbies. Get around us. Well, there's 14 minutes to go here until the game. Yeah, I want you guys to give me your biggest, boldest takes for this season in the chat. I want you to give me the biggest and the boldest takes that you have about this season. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I don't necessarily want you just to do it about your team, because I know for the most part who everyone here supports. I know you all support the Gold Coast Titans. We get that, but you also have your secondary teams. But outside of your team, I want you to give me your biggest and boldest takes outside of your team. Yeah, I'm going to do that, because otherwise we're just going to see lag and say the Bulldogs win the comp. We're going to have Brenton Esley talking about the Knights finishing the top 16, which is just ridiculous stuff. And we're going to have the Warriors saying they might go win 10 years in a row. That's why, outside of your team, please. Jarrett Money says, yeah, can't wait for my Wires to have their home game at Suncorp against the Broncos before we play our away game at Suncorp against the Broncos. Yeah, that's always a good start. It's always good fun. Ibrahim says, Rabbitohs will not make it past the bottom 4. You think the Rabbitohs won't get out of the bottom 4? That is a bold call. That is a bold call. They've just got David Fafita. There is a lot of concerns in regards to their halves. There is still concern in regards to their hooker, but I back in Mama Zealous. They've got Jai Gray fullback, unless they go Trell there, but I think Trell's more centre or even 5'8" they're talking about. Trell in the 5'8". Yeah, look, look. I don't think that they're a bottom 4 team. I think they'll still be heavily competitive, but injuries will play a massive part, because that club last year had a lot of injuries, and that would probably track pretty consistent. I don't know if they make the 8, but I think on paper they should make the 8. But there is still a lot of question marks around that Rabbitohs team for sure. There is. KJ Sports says all Queensland teams to make the top 8. Look, I love it, mate. I do. I love it, but... Oh, dude, the Cowboys and the Titans, I don't know about top 8, but the Titans have a lot of positivity right now. They do. Cowboys are still a bit of a muchness. The Dolphins, their defense is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, but their attack is very, very good. Will they be able to maintain that? I can definitely see the Broncos making the top 8, but the other 3 teams is definitely a wait and see on that. Definitely, but it's a bold call. I did ask for a bold call. Lagan says, well, the Bulldogs are literally coming last. Well, Lagan, you're a Bulldogs fan. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Jared Bumbo says, hey mate, is the Dogs on at 5 p.m? So bro, I'm in Vietnam right now, so don't look at this time slot. Don't look at this time because that's my time. I'm in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, so it's 1:20 p.m. for me. So it starts in 10 minutes time. Every time you come into one of these streams, don't pay attention to that time. Unless you're in Vietnam. Well, if you're in Vietnam, well, beautiful. It's on at 1:30. But yeah, it'll be 5:30 p.m. for you guys in New South Wales. Hope the Doggies will win, Ishan Happiness says. Well, again, preseason doesn't matter in regards to results. I know it's technically a tournament. You get 100,000 if you win it, but usually the team that wins the preseason actually doesn't even make the top 8. So don't take too much emphasis in regards to it. Just watch how your players are playing. Look at how the youngsters are coming through. You know, check out. When I did my top 3 players to watch from the 2 teams here, I put a video out on Tuesday. I'm going to put another video out on Tuesday coming for the next round of players you must watch. The 3 players for the Dogs I put was I put Gordon Chan Kum Tong, I think I did, for that number 9 role, because he's coming across a Manly youngster, had high raps, didn't really kick on at Manly, but now he's at the Doggies where their hooker is definitely not solidified. So definitely watch out for the number 9 and Gordon Chan Kum Tong. Then I would probably look at Zion Mayu, who's coming in off the bench here. Massive raps over there in the Warriors. He is a very physical and aggressive kind of player. Would love to see how he does translate here. And then I'm also taking a bit of a random shot here and saying Alex Conti at the halfback. Only because, look, the Dogs have Lachlan Galvin as their halfback. But I will also preface by saying that Matt Burton may potentially be off to the Perth Bears. There are still talks about that. So if Burton does obviously go off to the Perth Bears, and if things have changed, please let me know. But if Burton does go off to the Perth Bears, that leaves a 5/8 role open. Or does it mean that Mitchell Woods comes into that halfback and then you put Lachlan Galvin into the 6, or Mitchell Woods into the 6 and Lachlan Galvin to the 7? But I think Mitchell Woods is a perfect 7 there, and Galvin you could definitely put into the 6. And then Alex Conti, I guess, would be the next man up, I would probably say. So that's why I would say keep an eye on him. But with that being said, he doesn't have a pathway to the NRL just quite yet because there is those players in front of him. And then we move across to the North Queensland Cowboys. And the 3 players to watch here for the Cowboys for mine was... Who did I have as my must-watches here? I think I may have put Jackson Purdue because he needs to kick on this year for sure. You know, he needs to really solidify himself. He's a fantastic player, but I think I did put him there just to keep an eye on. And then I also may have put, like, Mason Barber, maybe? Jeez, I don't even know who I put as my top 3 must-watches. I don't think I did. I did do it, but can someone who watched that video let me know who I put as my 3 must-watch for the Cowboys? Because it's kind of a hard one here to look towards. Maybe it was... Oh, I did put Hyland Lukey. I said Hyland Lukey because he's had his injuries. He's got a high raps about him, and he is a good player, but he just hasn't been able to really, guarantee himself as that Cowboys guarantee at the moment. So I did put Hyland Lukey. You want to keep an eye to see what he's doing. I probably would have put Jackson Purdue and then maybe Barber, but I don't know, because maybe that's their next option. I don't know. I really don't. I really don't know. Constance says, what do you reckon on the Dogs this year? Dogs are a hard one to predict, mate. They are. They're a hard one to predict because the first half of last season with a different team to what they went with in the second half of the season. The first half of the year, they looked really, really good. And the second half of the year, they looked like a bottom 8 team. They did. They looked like a really, really poor team in the back portion. So this is with this new team. This is with the same team that they had from the back portion of the year, but minus Toby Sexton, who's now at the Catalans Dragons, and Reid Marnie, who's now at the North Queensland Cowboys. I don't know. I do need to kind of see a bit of this pre-season here. Even though they're not playing a stronger team, I want to see next week's game. Now, who do they play next week in the pre-season? There's 7 minutes to go into the kickoff here, by the way, guys. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. You guys know we'll be live for every game this year. Every single game. But the Bulldogs... they have a bye next week. Oh, no, that's Telstra Premiership. Sorry, that's the actual the NRL. I was going to say, how do they have a bye in the preseason? So, they play the Newcastle Knights next week at McDonald's Jones Stadium. That'll be a good little warm-up there. You'll see most of the boys play. Again, won't mean anything, but I think I'll have a better idea and a better read about where the Bulldogs are at next week in the first half when they play a long... a lot of a majority portion of their players is what I would say. So look, again, don't really have much to go off right now. If you're asking me, gun to head as we speak, where I'd place them, I would be having them in that 5, 6, 7 range. I'd have them in the 5, 6, 7 range, currently speaking. Michael says, Blazy coming to Vegas if the Titans play? I will be in Vegas if the Titans play for sure. Yeah, I will definitely be in Vegas if they come next year, which is what I was told a while ago, but things may have changed. There's going to be one team or two teams that miss out, and that's the Perth Bears and somebody else. The 5 teams that haven't played there yet are the and not including these teams this year, the Gold Coast Titans, the Redcliffe Dolphins, the West Tigers, the Parramatta Eels, and the Melbourne Storm. So one team of those 5 will miss out, and then they'll play it in 2028, the final year, because every team will have played, and they do have that 5-year contract. So we saw the first year, which was the Roosters, Rabbitohs, Broncos, and Manly. Second year, which was where I was there, I went to it. It was the Sharks, the Panthers, the Warriors, and the Raiders. And then this year, where you're seeing it's the Cowboys, the Knights, the Dragons, and the Bulldogs. And then next year, it's going to be interesting to see how they place next year, because I'm assuming they're going to go with the Melbourne Storm versus the Parramatta Eels, because they've set that up as a round 1 rivalry game over the last 4 years. The last 4 years in a row, you've seen Storm versus Eels in round 1. So I'm assuming Storm versus Eels will take place over there, which is the biggest chance for the Storm to have their hoodoo broken of the round 1ers. They haven't lost a round 1 since like 2001 or 2000 or something like that. So I would assume next year we'll have Storm versus the Eels, and then it just comes down to Dolphins, Titans, and Tigers. I think you'd probably get a big enough crowd in Southeast Queensland for Dolphins and Titans, so they probably won't take a Dolphins-Titans game over there, because they don't want to take away from a big crowd they're already going to get. So then they would throw... It'd be maybe Titans-Tigers. There is a good chance of that. There is a pretty good chance of that, but I always was told that it was Titans versus the Dolphins, but I just don't know if they take away that big crowd from Southeast Queensland, when we do know the Titans don't get massive crowds and starters, so they want to give, Seabus a good crowd, or maybe they do take the Dolphins versus the Titans. Dolphins home game at Suncorp, where you're not going to see a huge, massive crowd, and maybe they take it there. I'm not too sure, but it'll be interesting to see how they play, because the Perth Bears obviously aren't going to play their first ever game in Vegas. Then again, how cool would that be? Their first ever game, and they play it over there. There's no way they would do that, though. Jono says, South be in the 8 if stay healthy. Dolphins will make the top 4. I think that's a massive bold call on the Dolphins there, Jono. What do you think about their defense? Because defensively last year, they were absolutely horrific. Attacking-wise last year, they were absolutely spectacular. We saw that this Dolphins team can absolutely attack, and that's what this modern game is all about, realistically. But they just had no defense whatsoever. Like, if you go across their defensive statistics, the game starts in 4 minutes, by the way. If you go across their defensive statistics, last year they gave up 596, which isn't the worst by any means, but it was the reason why they had actually as low as they did at 596. They probably would have been over 700. They're 596 here. They probably would have been over 700. And this is big. This is like one of those if scenarios, right? But they had some random games, like really random games, where they would give up like 0 points. Just nothing. And you're just like, what? Like, how is this even possible? And then they'd go up and give 50 points up the next week. And they'd give up 50 points up the next week. And they'd score 50 or they'd score 40. That's kind of the way the Dolphins go. They can score a whole bunch, but they also concede a whole bunch. I don't know if they've got the caliber to make... I don't think they're a top 8 team. I think there's a lot of improved teams. If the Eels are healthy, they'll definitely be a top 8 team with Mitchell Moses there. If Mitchell Moses isn't there, I wouldn't put him in the top 8. But the Dolphins are just too much of a risk in regards to my opinion, in regards to putting them into the top 8 for mine at the moment currently. Jared Money says, my bold prediction, because it feels like some positive energy with new coach and Tino staying and Cooper Byer re-signing. I see Titans make the finals and possibly get a home final. That's my other bold call. A home final's crazy. A home final means that we're finishing in the top 6. So, look, from your mouth to God's ears, Jared Farmoni, but that would be absolutely insane. KJ Sports, do you see Galvin as more of a 5'8" or a halfback? I would say more of a 5'8". I would say more of a 5'8", yes. Daniel Bate has removed his message. Don't know what that was. Good afternoon, mate. Get on your Shauno. We are back, Scotty. We are back. Titan sponsors and corporate staff would do good in Vegas. I don't know if that's a positive thing or a negative thing. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but sure, we can argue that. They are getting ready to run out here. I just can't wait for the first tackle, man. I just can't wait for the first tackle. Oh, they're walking out of the field. How beautiful is this? Rugby League is back, folks. Rugby League is back, and do not forget we'll be live for that next game, which is the Dragons versus the Knights. This is at Cogra, so it is the double header. We will see that game as well. It's gonna be good. Well, it's probably not even going to be a great game. It's just going to be enjoyable to watch some tackles again and watch some kicking and watch some plays. Get around. You can see Josh Curran there, Maxi King, Stephen Crichton, and the Cowboys. They are running out onto the field. I wonder how much tickets were for this. How much were tickets to go to this game? Would have liked to have seen a bit of a better crowd, though. Even though it's just a preseason game, would have liked to see a bit of a better crowd. Can't see how the new rules work. Well, the new rules aren't that detrimental. The kicking rule isn't. That was the big rule change, but that hasn't gone ahead. So the kicking is going to be normal. It's just going to come. The only thing that really, really drastically changes. Sure, the bench changes, but you're not going to see too much of the actual impact of that in a lot of ways, from just a viewer's perspective. But the biggest rule will be the no penalty. Well, you can get a penalty, but the 6 again rule will apply outside of the defensive, outside of your own 20. So outside of your own 20 for that full 80 meters, you do have more of a 6 again rather than a penalty kind of deal, which I think will take away a lot of the advantage of the team that actually receives the penalty. Jordan says 3 for 105 for the Netherlands. How many overs gone? That's actually pretty good. It's pretty good to play in Pakistan. It's pretty good. Tickets were free if you're a Cows fan. Fair enough. Fair enough. $25 to $50 tickets. Yeah, that's pretty expensive to be fair, considering that the NRL for the Titans, like for example, you'll get that. But first kickoff that's not a great kickoff, but the Cowboys will receive the ball, and they're going to get. Oh, jeez. First hit, and he gets slapped down to the 15 on first tackle. All right, let me just refresh this live score so you can get the live score rock and rolling. Let me just do that. Refresh that bad boy. Oh, it's freezing up a little bit right now. Freezing up. I think it's because I've got a live thing over there as well. I've got a live thing over there, so it is freezing up right now, guys. Give me one moment here. It's just refreshing that score. There we go. All right, so that's going to be first tackle, so fifth tackle now, and they're going to be at the 50. We are back. We are definitely back. Trying to says Dogs should play Galvin at 14. Matt Burton rumors say might be Cowboy. Matt Burton rumors say might be Cowboy? You saying the Burton rumors are saying he's going to the Cows? Not the Perth Bears? Hold on 1 second here. There we go. I'm just fixing this so you can see that live score. There we are. Alright, so live score is on the screen. Beautiful. Can you guys just confirm that we are live? Because we did have a few problems in regards to the computer just then. Fourth tackle for the Dogs, and they've only just gotten outside of their own 20. It's 25 metres out. So Jonathan says Dogs should play Galvin at 14. Matt Burton rumors say might be Cowboy. Galvin would make an insane 5'8", being 6'4", extra 10 or more kilos gained. Already got a decent running game. Could be a handful. Yeah, sure. I agree. I think that Galvin is definitely more of a 6. And ultimately that's where he was playing when he was at the Tigers. Cowboys are going to get this ball in good position. They'll get this ball at 35 on first tackle. So yeah, I would love to see Galvin as the 6, but no, I don't think that he will go to the 14. If they were going to put him in 14, they would have done that last year when everything was going right for them. They would have had Toby Sexton 7, they would have had Matt Burton 6, and then Lachlan Galvin coming in at that 14. But they're obviously not interested in that, the Dogs. And then now, obviously, is their 7 and Matt Burton is their 6, and I've never really seen Matt Burton as a 6. He has his moments, but I don't think that he's actually purely a 6. I've always said this. Fourth tackle now for the Cowboys at the 33 on the Dog side of the field. That's a penalty. Yep. No, he's lost the ball. They're just going to say knock on here from the captain, Thomas McKaylee. And it will be Dogs ball at the 33. I'm good, sweet. Oh, they're going to challenge this. Wow, we've seen a challenge 2.5 minutes into the first game of the preseason. Yes, Dion, NRL's back on. Been a very long time. It has been long. But now we are here and we are seeing a captain's challenge already. Chains up the Cows. Okay, so McKaylee. Well, it's just a ball plan, bro. It's just a ball plant. This is a knock on. This is a lost challenge. Yeah, but he's not up to his feet yet. He's still on the ground. His knee is still on the ground. He's not up to his feet yet. It makes no contact with the ball. Oh, they're going to say this is ruck interference. Well, to be fair, as he's falling over, his boot does kick the ball, but I would have argued you could have said that was a ball plant, but sure. So that's going to be a penalty here to the Cowboys instead. Successful challenge. Can't believe this ref still has a job, biggest knob, Breton says. Well, I just would have thought they would have called that as a ball plant. They called that as a ball plant many times last year. The Dogs player does impact the ball as he's falling over. His boot does hit the ball away. But with that being said, we saw a lot of the time last year, if they're not up to their feet yet, that they do call it as a ball plant. So next pass, the second tackle, and they're going to be 8 metres out here from the line. 5 metres out from the line, hit the Cows. They could get off early. Damn, we already blaming the ref. Jeez, it's only been 3 minutes. I'm not blaming the ref there at all. I'm just saying that's probably a different call to what we would have seen last year. So third tackle, 5 metres out from the line. Kerisk. They go out to Purdue. And Harrison Edwards will be 5 metres away from the line, 5 metres out. Here the Cowboys come. Yeah. Xavier Kerisk. They go out left, and that's not going to do anything there for Mason Barber. He'll just be taken down at the 10, maybe over the sideline. No. Fit tackle. I see this kicking game. Cowboys kicking game wasn't fantastic last year. Out to the right. Jake Clifford kicks it through, and it's going to be an easy one there for Cochrane. Easy one. Dazmate says, good evening, puppets and muppets. I'd like to introduce you to the future 2026 NRL Premiers, the most dominant, brutal, sensational, inspirational, the GOAT of all GOAT teams. That is the Gold Coast Titans. Yeah, no, I agree, Dazmate. Yeah, they're not playing here today, though. The Gold Coast Titans don't play till next week, Daz. But thank you for introducing everybody to the guaranteed 2026 Premiers. Fourth tackle for the Dogs, and they'll be 25 metres out from their own line. Yeah, keep them honest, Branson. Keep them honest. Fourth tackle. And they're away, the Dogs! Knock on. They were away until they weren't. It is a knock on from the Dogs. And that is the number 4 here. And that is Jed Reardon for the Bulldogs, who drops that ball. And why is there challenges in the preseason? Why would there not be challenges in the preseason, Daz? Why would there not be? Why not? Dogs of War defense right there. Yeah, well, Dogs of pretty typical attack right there too, Logan. We obviously saw the Dogs' attack was not that pretty last year. Not that pretty. If they want to change the rules, then they should make the referees... They should make sure the referees are not shit like last year. The referees are always going to be shit. The fans are always going to hate the referees. That's just part and parcel with sport. Cowboys. Jake Clifford goes for a run. He'll be 15 metres out from the line. Second tackle. But yeah, it's just make sure they know the basics first. I agree with you, Olivia, and with you, Sean. But it's just how sport is. Everyone's always going to have a problem. Cowboys. Third tackle. 4 metres away from the line. 6 minutes in. They give it to Harrison Edwards. 4 metres out. 4 tackle. Because the bunker needs practice for their shit calls as well. That is spot on. Spot on there. Jake Clifford. Short ball into the line. And this should be a try for Harlem Lukey. Harlem Lukey, big and strong. And he goes over, in the first try of the 2026 season in the preseason will be for Harlem Lukey of the North Queensland Cowboys. It is 4-0 with a kick to come. That is one of the guys I said to keep an eye on for the Cows. And that is a great start for him. Fantastic start for him. That was a nice pass there from Jake Clifford too. He was shaping up to go at the back, but instead he goes for the quick little short pass into the line. Yeah, his head turns completely to show a pass completely at the back, but Harlem Lukey gets across the line. And Doggies fans, they're in tatters. They're in tatters. Too easy. Too easy. 34 minutes to go here in the first half. Harlem Lukey, his NRL career, has got 57 games, 15 tries, 18 line breaks, and 74 average run meters. This is the year that he needs to really turn into the player. Brenton says, I just have it in for Liam Henry. Other refs, they're okay. Oh, they're okay. So you have it in for Liam Henry, but you don't have a problem, say, with Ashley Klein. You don't have a problem with, say, Jared Sutton. Lukey ain't no flugie. The first try is by a Queensland-based team. What else can I say? Look, someone said before that all 4 Queensland teams will make the top 8. I would have questions on it, but I will guarantee it because it means my team gets in the top 8, and that's just proving it right there. Jake Clifford will get the conversion, and it is 6-0 to the Cowboys, 7 minutes in. 6-0. Bulldogs haven't even really had a chance to touch the ball yet. They did actually look quite nice when they passed the ball out left. It's just unfortunate they knocked it on. They would have been away if he had caught that ball, Jed Ridden. They would have been away down that left hand side. Oh no, so it wasn't even Jed Ridden. It was actually Sasaya Alatini who dropped that ball before. So if Sasaya Alatini catches that ball, they would have been away. And he had Cooper Toy on his left hand side as well. They would have been away. Bretton says Belinda Sharp. Well, as a Titans fan, we're not a massive fan of Casey Badger. How about that? I'll double down. Double down that. Already sick of hearing Blocker. Yep, we've only been here for 7 minutes and you're already sick of Blocker. That does make sense. That's pretty consistent with every single rugby league fan's opinions and thoughts. Cowboys now will be at the third and first tackle. Is there anybody who ever actually defends Blocker online? I don't know if I've ever seen somebody say, I actually like Blocker's commentary. For example, people will criticise Kipper Cronk, and I actually don't mind Kipper Cronk's commentary as much. People will criticise Mick Ennis, and I know some people do enjoy him, even though he just absolutely takes his pants off every time the Penrith Panthers play and gets a good old jig going around. Like, it's ridiculous when the Panthers are playing and Mick Ennis is on the commentary. But I've never heard anybody actually defend Blocker Roach's commentary. Sean says, a question. Do we have... Oh, knock on from the Cowboys. Sammy McIntyre will knock the ball on at the 45. And the Dogs, they're going to have a relative attack on set here. Question. Do we have a second-generation players starting this season? Do we have any second-generation players starting this season? I'm not too sure. Socrates says, Blocker, great bloke, bad commentator. Yeah, but we're criticising his commentary. We're not criticising the human being. It's like when we criticise a rugby league player. We're not criticising them as a human. We're not criticising them as a person. We are criticising the way they play based off of what we know. And with Blocker, we are criticising the way he commentates because he's a melon. But that's not me saying that he's a bad person. So first tackle at the 50. Now second tackle, and they're going to be 40 metres away. Let's see the Dogs get a good move on here. 40 metres out. Kate says, who bet on the Cowboys? You shouldn't be betting. It's the preseason. But the Cowboys should win this game with their team lineup. It's a lot stronger of a lineup than the Dogs team they put forward. Third tackle. They go out to the left. Here we go. Alatini. Oh, we take out the 15 though. Great run. Fourth tackle. 10 minutes in here, guys. 30 minutes to go the first half. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. They go to the right. Be fit tackle 10 metres out. Let's see the kicking game here from the Dogs. And they go left. They don't go for the kicking game. It's a 6 again here. It's a 6 again and they knock the ball on. Alatini, that's a second knock on from him. Wow. Such a strong run from him when he ran that ball into the line to get to the 15. They're going to challenge this here, the Dogs. Gary says, g'day Blaze everyone. Very belated Happy New Year. I've just returned from 5 weeks in Australia. What a stunning country. Mate, it's the greatest country in the world. Gary. It's the greatest country in the world. Especially when it comes to cricket. Gary, where were you? Gary, where were you during the Ashes? We had plenty of Englishmen to slap down. Oh, that's an early tackle. This should be a penalty, Dogs. Yep, it is a penalty. Challenge successful. It is a penalty. Vin Dogs' speak our predictions on this game. My prediction is the Cowboys win it because they've got a stronger lineup, but my prediction is please don't gamble on the preseason because you will see two different teams in the first half to the second half, and you will see so many interchanges being made. But again, the Cowboys have a much stronger team on paper today than the Dogs do. Where were you, Guzzo, eh? Hiding from our Ashes. Slander of the English. So out to the right, but then again, we got Jacko good. We got Carl good, but Carl was good as well. We slapped up Harrison. Oh my gosh, we slapped Harrison up. Third tackle with a 3. That was the easiest slap up of the century, though. He just kept betting on the loser. Third tackle, and this is not a fantastic attack and set here from the Dogs, but they will get a 6 again. 5 metres out from the line. First tackle. Hopefully you don't get made fun of being bald, Gary. Well, you're the one who started that. Nobody else mentioned that Gary was bald. You the one who said that. So out of the left, it's a great pass. It's a great run, but they'll be 3 metres away here from the line. It was a great pass there from Alex Conti. They spread it. Alex Conti gives it across. Oh, that's very close to an obstruction. But Tay Cochran will get taken down 15 metres away for tackle. Out to the right, Alex Conti kicks it through, played at, it's 6 again. 6 again here for the Dogs, 5 metres out. Cowboys and Dragons win in my opinion. Well, FPL, I did put a video out on Tuesday with my predictions and must-watch players and whatnot. Again, results don't matter. But I did think the Cowboys should win. I did go with the Knights, though. I did actually think the Knights have a good chance of winning that preseason game. It's a 50-50 one there, completely. In the regular season, I'd probably be just about tipping the Dragons. Oh, Dogs throw the ball over the sideline. If that goes to hand, they would score a try through Jonathan Sugar in the corner, but unfortunately, it will go over the sideline. It will hit Zach Lomax in row Z, sitting there as a fanboy. They are finding some good space down this left-hand edge, the Dogs, but they just either knock the ball on. What's Crichton doing here? What's he doing? They are finding some good space on this left edge, but it's either a knock-on coming from Alatini or they're throwing the ball over the sideline there. Amsterdam says over or under 48.5 of this game. I would go under. Preseason games, people like to think there's going to be a lot of tries scored, but I would say that under is a good shout. The Dogs' structure and system favours defense, and the Cowboys' structure and system favours attack. But the Cowboys have a stronger team on paper here today, so I'd be looking well and truly at the under of that. Well and truly. But anything can happen. It's a preseason game, but I would be looking at the under. You will see more tries scored in the second half, though, that's for sure. Jonathan Stewart two-hands it, but drops it, goes backwards, and the Dogs on the ball, first tackle at the 5. I know it's going to be a knock-on here from the Cowboys, so it'll be Dogs ball at the 10. Gary says, had an amazing time, Jared. Beautiful place. I even went to the Gold Coast. Paid my respects as I did at Bondi. Oh, knock on from the Dogs on first tackle. Cowboys get the ball 10 metres out from the line. Paid your respects to the Gold Coast? Oh, you paid your respects to the Gold Coast and also did it at Bondi. Well, nothing's happened on the Gold Coast. I don't know about the paid respects there, but Bondi, I get it. Sam McIntyre, unfortunately, has dropped he's dropped an eyelid here. His eye is all over the place. He's been smacked, I think, in the tackle here. Well, I don't know, but yeah, just a weird tackling technique, and he's hurt his right eye. God bless him. I hope he's okay. But a Dogs knock on. They're just fixing up Sammy McIntyre right now. Dogs knock on. We'll give the Cowboys the ball 10 metres out. Nice is good. Thanks, Gazza. I hope the surgery went well for you, sir. Jared, oh yeah, Brendan gets to see his new future halfback in Dylan Brown. Well, not today, he doesn't. I hope he brings what he did in the Pac Champs to Newcastle. Be great to see Dylan Brown bring what he did in the Pacific Championships to Newcastle because he was absolutely unreal. It was absolutely unreal. So Cowboys will be 10 metres out here from the line. First tackle. Yeah, Gary, you're a Titans fan. We know that. And we're very well aware of that. You know, you claim Manly as your secondary team, but it's good to see you going to the Gold Coast and getting around the Titans. Cowboys third tackle, 2 metres away from the line. Third tackle. They roll it out the back. Harrison Edwards, Jake Clifford. He runs it himself. Strong run, but taken down 2 metres out. Dogs defence. This is what you will see from them all season long. And that's why you're back in even though they're younger players and it's more of the inexperience, it's still the system and the structure that they go with. Still the system and the structure. But no, you would have loved the Gold Coast, guys. Fantastic place, isn't it? Good little kick through. That's going to end up being... Oh, Tay Cochran's away here at the 10, the 15. Oh, and then taken down. Oh, he's lost the ball. Well, that's called a knock-on every day of the week. It's knocked out. Well, it's knocked out of his hand. They usually call that as a knock-on. I know it's gone backwards, but when you're carrying the ball here and then it gets knocked out, a lot of the time they will call that a knock-on because the player's hand is... Anyway, long story short, they didn't call it, but it's third tackle for the Dogs. Now fourth at the 30. Great run from Tay Cochran. 2 30-minute halves. No, I think it's 40 minutes, Amsterdam. I think it's 40 minutes. Because there's 25 minutes to go here. We've already been here for 15 minutes, so I would say they're 2 40-minute halves. Sean says, you have turned Gary into a Titan supporter. No, Gary just gets it. Shauna, you don't get it as a Dogs fan. You don't get it. you claim the Dogs, but you're a Titans fan. Once you come to terms with this knowledge, then you start living life. But until you come to terms with this knowledge, you're not living life, Shauna. You're not living. Jay was once a Cowboys fan. Now he's actually a Titans fan. You got to start living. I'm just trying to help you out here, Shauna. Trying to help you out. I'm not laughing, but serious. Embrace your inner Gold Coast. Embrace your inner Gold Coast. Full tackle with the Cowboys. They're going to kick this ball into the corner. Good chase, good chase, good chase. Try time! That is a special try there from the Cowboys. Really nice. And Jackson Polo will open up his account for 2026 with a try in the corner. MCN says, first time ever watching rugby. Well, firstly, this is not me talking shit, but this is me helping you out. It's rugby league. So rugby is what we refer to as rugby union. I know it's hard to understand, but rugby is rugby union. Rugby league is rugby league. So if you're saying the word rugby, even though it's in the words of rugby league, the shortened version, Australians will always consider that, and Kiwis as well, Southern Hemisphere, we always consider that rugby union, which is an entirely different sport. But with rugby league, obviously we call it that. Or a lot of people just call it the NRL. Even though the NRL is just the league itself, people don't realise the NRL is just specifically the league itself. However, casual watchers and non-watchers who tune in from very occasionally or for gambling and whatnot will just call it NRL because this is the main league across the world. It's like, well, you can make arguments against it, but it's like the Premier League, for example, or the NFL, for example. You know, most people just call it the NFL, and they're talking about the sport, but it's actually just American football or gridiron, if you know what I'm saying. Gary says, for the record, Blaze returned to London and it was cold and it's rained throughout January. Gary, listen, that's like saying, is water wet? Then again, you could argue if water's wet because it's actually just the process, but that's like saying the sky is blue. Because when we were live for all of the Ashes tests, we did a weather check in England every day, and unfortunately it was always raining, yes. And that is going to be a missed kick there from Jake Clifford, so it will stay 10-0 after 17 minutes. Single Pringle, Reborn says Bronx back-to-back. I'm not going to say no now. I put a video out a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, with my rising and falling teams. And I did, in fact, have the Broncos as a falling team. But that was on the stipulation of that new kicking rule that was going to be implemented, where if you conceded, you got to choose whether to kick off or you got to choose whether you receive the kickoff. That rule's been scrapped. So that doesn't exist anymore. And I thought that roule would have impacted them so heavily because they're such a heavy momentum team based off of just scoring back to back in the back of the second half, right? And coming back in games. That's been scrapped. So I would say there is a good chance the Broncos going back-to-back, but there is also plenty of teams around. The Storm will still be fantastic. The Roosters look really, really good with their team. The Sharkies, they're hoping to go one better. They've been in the prelim the last couple of years. There is plenty of teams thereabouts, but I would not be out of this world surprised if the Broncos do go back-to-back. The matches on TV here in London. A preseason games on TV? Wow. They don't even get the preseason on the regular TV in Australia. Fit tackle for the Cowboys. They're going to be 38 metres out from the line. Do you think Cooper Bye gets a role in the 17 for the Titans, mate? Absolutely, FPL. Guaranteed. 100%. Good kick. Drop ball. Cowboys score. Good kick. Drop ball. Cowboys score. And it is Zach Labour. It's 14-0 with a kick to come. 14-0 with a kick to come. But FPL, it's a guarantee, man. They've re-signed him. He is the hottest prospect coming through the younger ranks across any team right now. Everybody is talking about Cooper Bye. He is just so well regarded for only playing the one game. We need to see him have a big year here, and I think he will have a big year here. It's not like he's coming into a really, really tough team to implement yourself into, right? You know, he absolutely could put himself into a starting 13 spot very soon. I don't think he starts the season in a top 13 spot, but he definitely will be on that bench and he'll definitely be used quite well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the starting 13 very soon. Hello, Matrix. That was a perfect kick from Clifford. It was a great kick. And now we've got Dion saying Tigers looking like a top 4 team. Well, guys, what are we doing? We've been here for 19 minutes. We've got the Tigers fans talking about top 4. I'm going to lose my mind already. Just trying to watch the Rugby League, enjoy the game. We've got a Tigers fan here talking about top 4. We've got Tigers fan here talking about top 4. That'll do me. I'm already done. I'm already done for the season, and we're only 19, now 20 minutes into the first half of the preseason first game. Well, 20 minutes gone. It's 14-0 to the Cowboys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new around here. Shauna says, Dogs, are you giving them a start and shop in the second half? This is the preseason. They're not playing too many of their stars. The Cowboys are playing a much stronger team. This is why I said I probably have the Cowboys to win this game, regardless of the fact that it doesn't matter. Dogs of worries, Bretton says. Here we go. Don't you miss it, Blaze? I don't know if I miss that, Jared. I miss the rugby league, and I miss the rugby league streams, but I don't know if I miss the Tigers fans claiming top 4. So it's 16-0 to the Cowboys. They get the kick. Gary says, are you still in Vietnam, Blaze? Well, still's probably not the right word, because I have been in Fiji since you probably last were on these streams. But I am in Vietnam again. Yeah, I'm back in Vietnam now. But I was in Fiji from end of October until mid to late January. I've been here for a couple of weeks now. But I'm here until March 24th, and then I'm off to Philippines for 5 weeks, and then I'll come back to Vietnam for a couple of weeks, and I'm off to Indonesia for like 2 months. And then back to Vietnam for a couple of weeks, and then I'm off to Malaysia, and I'm thinking Sri Lanka rather than Laos. Cade Mills says we are blowing up the Dogs. Yes, but this is a preseason game. Guys, if you're a Bulldogs fan, you're losing right now. Who cares? If you're a Cowboys fan, you're winning right now. Be happy, but who cares? You understand, you comprehend what I try to say. Cowboys to make the top 8. Yeah, I don't know about that, brother. I don't know about that. 4 tackle now for the Cowboys at the 48. A lot of people are actually tipping them for the spoon this year. I wouldn't have them too far away. I don't know if I have them for the spoon, but I wouldn't tip them too far away from it. They're in a bit of a purgatory spot right now, the Cowboys. They're in a real big purgatory spot. And Doggies get the ball at 5. Lagan says, well, I mean, the battle for lock on the Gold Coast is between Randall and Bai. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets the 13 and Tino and Moe play prop. Well, Tino and Moe definitely play prop on the basis that Jimmy Jolliffe is now injured for the season, which is so heartbreaking because he's such a tough player, man. Such an underrated player. 3rd tackle for the Dogs at the 15. He's such an underrated player, Jimmy Jolliffe. But he's out for a significant portion, if not the entirety of the season. No, his entire season is done, sorry. So that means Tino and Moe are guaranteed prop. You'll early doors see Cooper as implemented as that front row rotation. But Chris Randall is actually an incredible 13. He's not a good back rower. I don't want him to ever see the light of day in back row ever again. But when it comes to him playing as a utility, and especially as a 13, love him. I love him. He's so underrated as a player, Chris Randall, when he's in the 13. Yeah, that horn is really annoying, Olivia. But be careful. Remember that time last year when the Storm had some stupid horn and some guy came in saying, don't insult my friend with the horn. And I said, shut the fuck up. Like, your friend has got an annoying horn. Doesn't mean I think that he is a loser of a human, but I will say his horn is loser material. It's really annoying. Out of the right. Cowboys again. Jackson Purdue. Try time. Not Jackson Purdue. That is going to be Bolo. That's going to be Jackson Bolo with a try time, and maybe that over is going to get hit. The Cowboys are looking pretty impressive right now in regards to this attack. Dogs are looking pretty rough. So maybe that over is looking good for Amson. If you got on the over, you'd probably be happy with this right now. You'd be really happy with this right now. Single Pringle says, holy, the grand final was already 4 months ago. I know, wild, eh? Wild stuff. We're only, 6 months or so away from the Titans winning the grand final this year. Sean says, Daz, is it that bad? The mullet has to be controlled. Good Lord, they've just shown the Knights tell that Muppet with the mullet to get a haircut. Oh, hold on. Yeah, no, he gets that. They've just shown the Knights tell that Muppet with the mullet to get a haircut. Someone, gee whiz. Wait, this is... Good Lord, they've just shown the Knights They've just shown the Knights, comma, Daz, mate, comma would be nice here. They've just shown the Knights tell that Muppet with the mullet to get a haircut. Someone, gee whiz. Are you talking about your mate here, Fletcher? Yeah, it's a try. Can we use commas, please, Daz? Just I'm begging. Yeah, it's a rough put down, but he puts it down. Gary says, going back to the Ashes, Mitchell Stark is amazing. That must have been his best Test series. Yeah, it was incredible, dude. It was just spectacular. By the way, you'd be pretty impressed. Like, Pakistan are going to win that game, but the Netherlands have got a good score, 144 for 8 through 19. That's actually pretty impressive there for a team that should be getting absolutely walked across that game. Who'll be bottom 4 this year? This is subject to change, Reese. My official predictions won't come out until the week of the Vegas games, which you guys know every year. Cowboys will get the conversions. It's 22-0. 17 minutes to go the first half. This is subject to change. I would be having the Cows there. Tigers fans are going to hate me, but I would consider them there. I wouldn't say necessarily the Titans are out of it just yet, even though I do have a lot of positive belief they can finish in that 10-11 range. But I wouldn't say it's out of the equation. They could finish anywhere from 17th to 8th for mine. They could finish anywhere between, but I'm pretty happy with people, believe. If you're not a fan of the club, I can assume that you're still going to have them in the bottom 4. Cowboys will get this ball to the 20, first tackle. Knights are still a good shout, dude. They are still a good shout. They are still. Knights Dogs grand final. That might be the worst grand final I've ever thought of in my life, Daz, mate. That might be the worst grand final I've ever heard of in my life. Third tackle. So they're coming out when preseason ladder predictions are meant to come out not in round 15 of the previous year. Yes, Daz, mate. No, I don't do preseason. I don't do predictions for the year 2028 like other people do. No, I actually put them out a week before, or the week of the first game of the season. Purgy finds open space here. Great kick. Cowboys. Oh, it's a knock on from the Cowboys, but geez, what a fantastic kick. Dragons versus Knights prediction. I've gone with a bit of a smoky here of the Knights to win because I feel like their lineup looks a little bit better for mine. But again, doesn't matter. It's a preseason game. But I've gone with the smoky of the Knights in that one. If it was a regular season game, I'd probably edge out the Dragons. But the Dragons, last year, people forget this. They came third last. They did come third last. He actually had an opportunity to get that ball back in just then. That was a brilliant display of end-to-end ball movement, absolutely. Right, everyone's seen this comment, pin that. Everyone's seen this comment, pin that. What comment are you talking about, Daz? Wait, Daz, what comment are we talking about? I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Daz, if that happened, I would get my nutsack tattooed. So third tackle now for the Dogs. And they'll be 35 metres. Ooh, forward pass. Yep, there's a forward pass. There is a forward pass. If you guys disagree with my conversation about what I was just saying just then, please let me know. Please let me know what you would disagree with. Also, if you're a Bulldogs or Cowboys fan, we do have inspired merch behind those teams. The Bulldogs one is in the pinned comment, and the Cowboys is there on Red Bubble as well. No, I've seen Sean James comment now. Shauno, he's a wild character. Wild character, the old Shauno. Cade says Cowboys are blowing them out 22-0. Yeah, no, it's okay. We are watching this game. We do see that. We have watched every try so far. Mason Barber will be taking out the 35. If he had got that ball away, they'd probably score again. Smith says, I think the Broncos will be unbeatable this season. Well, I think you might be drunk. And it is 6 p.m. on a Saturday, so it does make sense that you'd be drunk, Smithster. Yeah. Third tackle and 25. But you're from Perth, so actually no, it's not. You're not on that time zone. You're at 3 p.m. Well, look, it's still a good start. It's still a Saturday for you. Lagan says that you would have a Lagan ballsack. Yeah, look, this is the problem with our streams. We go down this kind of territory pretty quickly. Fit tackle, 8 metres out with the Cowboys. They might score again. Jay Clifford, short ball into the line. And, luckily enough, they hold him out 1 metre short. Oh, no, he's actually... Oh, that was awful from the Dogs. That defense was awful from the Dogs, and the Cowboys have scored again. They'd held him short, and then he just kept fighting for it. That is really, really strong fighting from the Cowboys, and it is about to be 26-0 with a kick to come. This is just... awful. He goes down here. He's rolling, he's fighting, and then they just both fall off the tackle. And the Cowboys get an easy try there through Kai O'Donnell. Well, not an easy try, but the Dogs had him done. They had him done there. James Steph getting around it. Blades, can we blame this result on the half they got from the Tigers to the Bulldogs? Lachlan Galvin's turning into a bit of Anthony Milford, where if he plays, it's his fault. If he doesn't play, it's also his fault. He's not playing right now. Thomas McKelly's looking very good. Always had potential. Maybe this year he has always had potential, but just hasn't really kind of done it for him so far. I don't think Haas is leaving for 360 single. I think there's too much worry in regards to that, and the Zach Lomax situation proves that pretty heavy. We did bring a video out about Payne Haas to R360 a few months ago and spoke about the potential of it, but I just don't think players, until there is a guaranteed solidified start date for that competition, there's no way you'd risk your career for it. I think Payne Haas has only got this year left on his contract at the Broncos, or it might be next year. It's definitely either this year or next year. And then he has the decision whether he does go to this R316. I think he'd be silly not to if it's guaranteed with the money that they're offering him. But it's just too big of a risk as we currently speak. Just too big. Sean says, how is this footy from the Dogs, third grade? Yeah, it's pretty poor, but again, this is pre-season, man. So the Dogs will finish above the Cowboys on the table this season. I just want to really reiterate this. This is pre-season. These, like, again, if you look at this Dogs team, Tay Cochran won't play. Cooper Toy won't play. Sasai Alatini won't play. Jed Ridden won't play. Jonathan Sewer won't play. Joseph Talpa won't play. Alex Conti won't play. Samuel Hughes may play. Gordon Chankumtong may play. Fletcher Baker, don't think so. Alec Alisimi Jones won't play. Logan Spinks won't play. Lipoi Hopoi may play. Sasefa Finau won't play. Zaimauu probably won't play, but maybe. Eamon Fitzgibbon won't play. Jack Underhill, no. Raymond Puru, no. Hamish Wilson, no. Japa Dronga, no. Mikey Nassar, no. Justin Matamula, probably not. Bud Smith, no. Bailey Myers, no. And Louis Grosemi, no. So don't take too much emphasis in regards to how this game is going right now. Cowboys now, they're going to be 28 metres away from the line for tackle. 10 minutes to go the first half, guys. 30 minutes to go. 30 minutes gone. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. We'll be live for every single game of the Rugby League this year. We've got Dragons first nights after this. That's a massive hit. A massive hit there. Cowboys smacked it at 25. And Jake Clifford puts this ball up into the corner. Good take by Jonathan Sewer. And they'll get the ball 4 minutes out. It's all good. Vlandis is all talk, no bite. They'll allow you back if you go to 360. Yeah, I think it's really ridiculous what Vlandis said, and then he's gone back on his word there. Give me 1 second here, guys. Go back. Third tackle. For his house, he just bought Ibrahim. Ibrahim says, hopefully they sue him for all his worth. Yeah, no, it's really disappointing that Vlandis was very heavy on it. But I think what he's decided to do, fit tackle with the Dogs, their own 25. I guess what he's decided to do is give this one lifeline. Oh no, is that a knock on? Yep, it's a knock on for the Cowboys. At the 30s, the Dogs will get an attack opportunity for the first time in nearly ever. I think what he's doing is he's giving this lifeline here as a one-off because R360 kind of sold a lie. And then maybe from here on out, he probably wouldn't allow them back in. But I don't know. Smith says, which team can contain the Broncos' game-breaking speed? I'm possibly your only sober viewer. Well, Smithster, for starters, I don't think that you're actually... Are you that much of a rugby league fan? Because, again, you're in Perth, and also you came here on the cricket streams, not the rugby league streams. I don't know how much you actually know about this game, because you've never actually really spoken about rugby league before. And you said you chose to join the Perth Bears because they're a Perth team, which means that you didn't have a team previously. So I don't know if you're actually up to date with the conversation that you're trying to have here. But there are also plenty of teams. The Roosters are a team that are going to be fantastic this year. There is the Dolphins, who do have a lot of speed and they do have a lot of pace, to argue your specific point. The Dogs here, 4 tackle. They're 3 metres out from the line. But their defense isn't good enough. But also, the Broncos are going to be heavily reliant upon an aging half in Adam Reynolds and an aging player in Ben Hunt as well. They've got a really good team there that can absolutely go and win this premiership. But you're you're trying to assert knowledge on something that I don't believe you actually have on this game. The Dogs will kick it through, and the Cowboys will get out of the end goal, and it'll be 3 metres out from their own line, first tackle. Like, I want you to tell me. So you're telling me there is no team that can contain the Broncos? Is that really what you're saying? I'm a 5 out of 10 for rugby knowledge. So then, okay, so if you're a 5 out of 10, and again, this is fine, right? So you'll learn a lot here. I'm going to be wrong. Everyone's going to be wrong. It's an opinion. But how can you have such a strong opinion on a game you don't know about? How can you have such a direct and strong opinion about the Broncos, no one being able to beat the Broncos? When we saw last year, they were awful for the first half and they came good in the second half. This is a much different year this year. We are going to see the Storm still there. We are going to see the Sharks, who would have probably given the Broncos a good run for their money in their grand final as well. The Broncos, that's a great run here from Cochrane. He's been great today. I've really loved watching Tay Cochrane here in this fullback. I think he's been nice to the Dogs, despite the fact they've looked awful and down 28-0. But you go across all the teams, and teams can match them. The Raiders, I don't know what they're going to do this year. They've got a really strong forward pack. You got to remember, the Broncos didn't just beat the shit out of teams for the most part. They had to come back on a lot of these good teams. So it'll be interesting to see if they can have that same comeback ability this year, but you can't always rely on the comeback. They had to rely on a comeback against the Storm in the grand final. They had to rely on a comeback against the Raiders in the first week of the finals. They had to rely on a comeback against the Panthers in the third week of the finals. They had to rely on comebacks throughout the whole back half of the season, especially against the Dolphins too, mind you, where they were down 13 plus at one stage, 6 again over the Dogs. There is absolutely many worlds here the Broncos will struggle in comparison, but I do still have them as a top 4 team, and I do still have them as a team that could win the comp. That should be a forward pass. Not going to call it. Third tackle over the Dogs, the 5. I always had Foxtel, so I tuned in a bit. Again, fair enough, but it's just having such a strong opinion doesn't make sense. It's like me having a strong opinion on Vietnamese football. I know the teams. Sen says, good to see you again this season, brother. I'll be here every single game, son. But there's a 4 pass from the Doggies. 5 minutes to go the first half. Blaze, that's not really a comment listening to. Broncos are a strong team, but it's an open comp. Exactly right. I agree. That's a perfect comment. They are a strong team, but it is an open comp. It's vice versa. Anyone can match anyone. Whoever said that is stupid. However, it's saying that I do think they make top 4 again, but anyone can win. It's like last year, man. At one stage of the year, we were like, anyone in this top 10 could win this comp. We said this throughout the whole back half of last year. Netherlands end with 147. Pakistan win, but that's good for a minnow team. So, James, you don't need to ask if you can ask me something. As you can see in the chat here, you just have to comment whatever you want, man. So Billy says, Broncos had injuries galore first half of the season and Walsh in worse form. 100% agree with this. To start this season, no Ezra until round 13. Reynolds, Haas and Walsh all missing big chunks of the season. Healthy can't be unmatched. Well, they can't be unmatched. They absolutely can still be matched, but I do think the Broncos had an incredible second half of the season last year. I think that even when they had their full-strength team at points in that first half, they were still actually really awful. The form wasn't great, and then we did see how bad Walsh was in the first half. You do need to see Walsh keep that momentum from the second half of last season, because he was the best player in the damn world last year. 7 tackle set. Come up for the Dogs at 20. He was the best player in the world for the second half of the season last year, and a lot of people disagree with me here. I have Reece Walsh's second half of the season last year and the way he performed on the same level as guys like Ben Barber from 2012 and Tom Trbojevic from 2021. James Tedesco 2019, and obviously Jared Hay from 2009. I think that's how good Reece Walsh was. But the difference is between Reece Walsh and those guys is that they won the premiership, and he was the player of the match in that premiership win over the Melbourne Storm. He was the pivotal part. So I don't know why people can't include Reece Walsh in those conversations. Sure, it wasn't the entirety of the season, but his second half of the season was so good, and he won the premiership, and he won the Clive Churchill. So I'm not going to disagree with you in regards to that. But also, when you're talking about the second half of the season, it was still reliant on second half comebacks. So this is a 6 again here for the Dogs here. And they're away. No. Taken down. Alex Conte at the 25. First tackle. They go to the left. Here come the Doggies. They're 18, 15 metres out now. Second tackle. Let's see something, Dogs. Give your fans something to cheer about. Second tackle. 3.5 minutes to go the first half. I'll continue this conversation in a second, by the way. Dogs left. 5 metres out. Third tackle. Third, yeah, the other looks bad now, Amsterdam. I agree. But it's preseason. This is why I say don't bet on the preseason. It's too hard. It's too fluctuating. It's too all over the shop. But also, still 20-odd points. Still 20 points needed. Doggies, 3 minutes after the line. 6 again. 6 again. It's actually second tackle now. Dogs at the 10. And they'll be 3 minutes away from the line. Third tackle. Oh, Spinks tried to force his way over. Third tackle, 1 metre away from the line. At the back, Matamua, Conti. Oh, boy. Reardon gets slammed at the 10. Now 7 metres out, fourth tackle. They go out to the left. And Matamua, Justin Matamua with a try of the Doggies. 28-4 with a kick to come, and it should be a conversion to make it 28-6. Now, to go back to that previous comment, so against all these good teams, that's why it's impossible to say can't be matched, right? Sorry, the Broncos can't be matched. Because they had to rely on the comeback against the Melbourne Storm, against the Canberra Raiders, against the Sharks earlier on the season too, mind you, in the back half of the season, but still against the Sharks at Suncorp Stadium. Great game that was. It was 24-8 at halftime, 24-6 at halftime. Sharkies and Broncos came running home strong. But against all the good teams set up that lead, and then the Broncos chase it back. I don't think you can rely on that same thing being this year. I don't think you can rely on the comeback being your way to win the comp again this year. So if the teams just know, if they can figure out a way, and again, this is not an easy thing to do, but if they can figure out a way to not let the Broncos just run rampant in that last 20 minutes, they definitely can be matched. 100% they can be matched. 100% they can be. Because even with their best players, it still took a monumental effort to run over the top of them in the end. The Michael Maguire fitness camp obviously worked out well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Acidic says Bulldogs to miss the top 16 after this first half performance. Oh, for gosh sake. Oh, for gosh sake. Dero says, Billy, my guy, okay, sure, but do you think injuries was good enough losing to teams like the Dragons and Rabbitohs? I don't necessarily know how impactful that comment is, but I know what you're trying to get at, but I don't know how impactful that comment is in regards to this conversation. Best Sports says Cowboys win the premiership. If the Cowboys win the premiership, then the Roosters will win the wooden spoon. How about that? I'll give you a deal there. Dry says, I'm not going to take a dig at the Bronx fans because any fan can be stupidly biased about their own team, but Bronx had a shocking start losing to teams they shouldn't have been losing to even with no key play. Yeah, but we do have to focus on what we've seen more recently, and that is the second half of the season that won in the comp. Cade, I'll be honest with you, I'm not too sure why you keep... Why did you say 28-4 to the Cowboys, I think? Well, it's 28-6 for starters. You know we're watching the game, right? Like, you keep giving me an update on the score. You know I'm watching this game. That's the whole point of what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here. Lagging says, it's alright, lads. We just need to pull off another 2025 Dogs versus Raiders. Yeah, a lot of good comebacks last year from a lot of teams. Dogs on the board. Sean says, we were all mates here. Last night I was ink on my front of my shoulder. Well, there you go. They have clarified for the rules for the footy this year, Jared. Nothing too crazy. They did scrap that rule of the kickoff rule. That's not happening. Fourth tackle for the Dogs at the 35. That's not happening. So the only rules are basically, the ones that impact you the most would be six-man bench. You can select 4 players from that six-man bench, and which creates a lot more versatility and a lot more ability for coaches to actually implement themselves. And then the other one that's the most impactful is that it's not just inside your own 40. That's going to be a penalty to the Dogs. Oh, it's the last. We'll take the 2. Not that it matters, but take the 2, or you can go for a try. Don't go for a 2 in preseason. Come on. Come on. Don't take the 2 in the preseason. Don't do it 2, you cats. Go for the try. Yeah, they are going to go for the try. Thank gosh. If they had gone for the 2, I would have said, you're going wooden spoon this year. Alex Conte with the ball. This will be the final play of the first half, by the way. Okay, they kick this ball up into the air. The chase, Jonathan Sewer, he is going. It's going to be dropped from the Cowboys and it'll be taken off the sideline. And that will be it for the first half, guys. The Cowboys lead 28-6 in this underlined exclamation mark bold preseason game. That the result does not mean anything. But the Cowboys have looked pretty good here in this game with a stronger lineup than the Bulldogs. Please, Bulldogs fans, I reiterate to you, this does not mean shit. Please, Cowboys fans, I reiterate to you, this does not mean shit. This is just a preseason game. 10 years ago, you couldn't even watch this game. Now you're able to watch it because they've turned it into a tournament that doesn't really matter overall. I just need to keep on reminding people this. I need to keep on reminding people this. So, guys, obviously hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. And, yeah, as Brenton said, smash the like, lads and ladettes. Sean says, got up, wife gave me a cold towel, and he finished the job. Too many beers, I think. I don't believe it. Never too many beers. Never too many beers. Can the Netherlands defend 148 versus Puck? I don't think so. Yeah, Billy's over 46.5 looking good. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be the case because in preseason you do see a mixed bag, to be honest with you. You do see a mixed bag. I just thought the Dogs on a structural defensive level in their system would have been much better than what it is here, and they did look pretty good defensively for the early part of this game, but you know, the preseason's so volatile, and that's why I hate making those kind of predictions when it is the preseason, because it can just change so drastically so quickly. Like, I wouldn't even say the Dogs are out of even potentially winning this game still. I think I did tip the Cowboys in the preseason video that I put out on Tuesday, but you just don't know, and that's why I really tell people, please don't bet on the preseason, because it is so hard to know what you're going to see, because we're going to see completely different teams in the second half to what we saw in that first half as well. Dre says, I know the Cowboys have named a few first graders, and the Dogs playing many? Not at all. I'm just following your score. Trials is trials, but want to properly comment about a team depending on their team XI. I'll read you out the two team lineups, because the Cowboys are playing a much stronger team on paper. They are. The Dogs, hold on. So the Dogs, their team lineup today is Tay Cochran, who I've actually really liked, but again, won't be in the team. Cooper Toy, Sasaya Alatini, Jed Reardon, Jonathan Sewer, Joseph Talpa, Alex Conti, Samuel Hughes, Gordon Chen-Kum Tong, Fletcher Baker, Alec Alasimi, Jones, Logan Spinks, Lipoi Hopoi, Sesefo, Finau, Zaya Mau, Eamon Fitzgibbon, Jack Underhill, Raymond Puru, Hamish Wilson, Jope Range, Mikey Nassar, Justin Matamua, Bud Smith, Bailey Myers, and Louis Gorsemi. There is literally not a single starter in there. Not a single starter is playing here today for the Dogs. Whilst for the Cowboys, Mason Barber, Robert Derby, Zach Labert, Liam Sutton, Jackson Bolo, Jackson Perjury, he'll start, Jake Clifford, Harrison Edwards, Xavier Kerrisk, Thomas McKaylee, Hylam Lukey will start, Kai O'Donnell, Sam McIntyre potentially starts, definitely on the bench though, Zach Herdigan, Caden Lars, Mason Kidder, Matthew Watts, Credence Toya, Ronald Filatoga, Maddox Goodwin, Whittemore Gregg, Tyler Moriarty, Joseph Doyle, Isaiah Latu, Mitchell Preston, ATC James. So, you know, it's a pretty clear switch up here. Like, it's a pretty clear switch up of which team cares more about winning this game, or cares more about getting reps in. It's not about winning this game, it's just more about getting reps in. Natika says, what team do you go from the NRL? I go for the 2026 NRL Premiership winners, the Gold Coast Titans. Oh my goodness me, they're going to be so good. So good. Jason Nath, which team? He goes to the Dragons. Shauno says it was 32 degrees here yesterday, so it's starting to get hot. Yeah, it's warm here in Vietnam today. I went for a good old walk through Ho Chi Minh this morning. It's pretty warm. Lagan says the wrong thing. I definitely do not go for the Dogs. No way. No, I do not. Nate says, love the two. Yeah, you and the Dragons do love the two. For anyone who doesn't know the context behind why we have these jokes and these comments between myself and Nate, is that when the Dragons last year played the Dolphins, I think it was the Dolphins, or it might have been the Dolphins, they took the two. I think they ended up losing like 60-2. I need to go and have a look at that, actually. What was that game again? And Nath was saying, like, this is a good choice taking the two. And I said, I don't think it is a good choice taking the two. And I was proven right. I was proven right. Dragons didn't mind a two taken last year. Where is it? Where is this game? Oh, it might have been that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was. Valentine, it was against the Dolphins. So it was 2-0 in the first 2 minutes, and I said, I don't know about taking this. And Nath was like backing it in galore. Anyway, the game finished up 56-6 to the Dolphins. They scored a try and didn't convert it. So that is the context behind why you will see Nath constantly remind us that he loves the 2 taken. Matt on Sports TV says, who do you think will win the comp this year, and why is the answer the mighty Gold Coast Titans? Well, I think it's the Gold Coast Titans, Matt. I think it's a pretty obvious answer here. I think it's the Gold Coast Titans. I stand by my decision, Nate says. Yeah, look, doubling down is always the right option. It's always the right option. It was only 56-6. Like, it wasn't 60 slammer. You saw a Fetty bomb put past you, but at least it wasn't a 60 slammer, that's for sure. I might go fill my Coke Zero up. I might go get another can of Coke Zero, guys. It is half time. Keep using the chat. Keep getting involved in the chat. Keep dropping your horrific Tigers top 4 predictions, and I'll be back in just a few moments. All right, we are back, Amundos. We are back. Usually at this point of the stream, we would go through all the stats. Do you guys really want all the stats here in this preseason game? I'll read through the stats if you guys want, but I don't know how much point there is to it. But if you would like me to read through the stats of this game right now, I will go through them. If that is if you want us to do what we normally would do in the regular season. Matt says, pen and pants for the spoon this year, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon you're drunk. I reckon you're definitely drunk. Actually, I don't even reckon it. I know it. I know it for sure. I'm going to put my phone on charge. That's what I'm going to do. Alright. Move this bad boy. It's just so good to have rugby league back underway, though. I'm a fan of the Paul Kent podcast. Okay. I see where your comments are going down. I see what trajectory this is. I see what trajectory Smiths is going down with the Paul Kent podcast. All right, so we've got that there. Oh yeah, you do want it? Okay, I'll give you the stats then. Okay, so possession-wise, it is 47% for the Dogs, 53% here for the Cowboys. So it's pretty even in a lot of regards, just not the score-wise, but I think the Dogs probably would have evened it up, the later on that half went, because in that middle portion, they just got absolutely slapped between the 15 and the 26th minute mark, 15 and 30 minute mark, or you could argue 10 and 30 minute mark. The Cowboys just ran rampant, but the first 10 and the first 10 was all Cows. Maybe the last 10 there is where the Dogs really evened that up a lot more. Time of possession is 13 minutes and 19 seconds for the Cowboys, 12 minutes and 21 seconds there for the Dogs. Usually you're looking for at least 25 minutes there of gameplay. Right now it's currently at 25 and a half, so not spectacular, but still above the bare minimum. You do want to see that up around the 27-28 minute mark, though, for the collective time of possession. Completion rate, you want to be seeing at least 80% here, 70% for the Dogs. They're at 14 from 20, whilst the Cowboys are at 89% with 17 from 19. So the 80% there definitely being hit by the Cowboys. They're very happy with that completion rate, whilst the Dogs, they wouldn't be happy with the 10% under. Is it? Are you saying that my audio is not that great, Kevin? I can turn it up a little bit if you want. I can turn it up to here. Is that better? We can leave it on that if you want. Anyway, runs-wise, 76 runs for the Bulldogs with 608 run meters. 1 second. 76 runs for 608 run meters, 89 runs for the Cowboys with 899 run meters. So on the 10 meters on average per run, the Dogs are about 150 meters behind what they would be looking for there. So 10 meters on average per run would have them at 760. They're at 608. So they're not averaging the really good level of 10 meters on average. They're well underneath that. Whilst the Cowboys, they are over the 10 meters on average per run with now 90 for 911 run meters. I do have to always reiterate to you guys that the stats will update at halftime as I'm going through them, so they can change. But 90 for 911. So that means that they are above 10 metres on average per run by an extra 11 metres, because 10 metres on average would be 900. Post-contact metres is 225 for the Dogs with 353 for the Cowboys. So with that extra 13 runs that the Cowboys do have to the Dogs, that is just a ridiculous amount of post-contact metres. That is disgusting. That is a significant gap. That is a massive, massive gap there of 353 to 325. That is about 128, on the swing there. And then we go to the line breaks of 3-3, even there. Tackle breaks is 19 for the Cowboys, 15 for the Dogs. Usually the average was 15 to 17 last year. For missed tackles, and we'll get to the missed tackle count in a second, but this is the missed tackle count. But 19 for the Cowboys is massive. 15 for the Dogs is pretty good, but obviously not as good as 19. Average set distance, 25 and under, you turn the stream off, it's pathetic. 25 to 30 is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the mark, that's the bare minimum. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic, and 50 plus is basically perfect. Now the Dogs are at 30.72, so they're at the bare bottom of the underwhelming category at 30.72. At least they're above 30, but it's not good enough. It's about 4.28 metres behind where they should be on an average set distance on a minimum. And then for the Cowboys, it's fantastic. 45.59, that's above the great category in that fantastic category. Low end of it, but unbelievable stuff there from the Cows at 45.59. You go to the average play the ball speed, 3.44 seconds for the Dogs, 3.29 seconds for the Cowboys. Anything under 3.2 is extremely fast. 3.21 to 3.39 is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. 3.6 to 3.79 is slow. And then 3.8 and above is extremely slow. So 3.44 is in the average category for the Dogs, and the 3.29 is in the fast category for the Cowboys. You go to the offloads of 4 for the Bulldogs, 3 for the Cows, so at least they're winning that stat. You then move to kick defusal, 67% for the Dogs, 50% for the Cows. Effective tackle percentage, 88% is the minimum. So between 88 and 90% is where you need to be hitting. 88% to 85% is underwhelming. 85% and under is disgusting. And 90% and above is basically perfect. 88.95%, they're hitting the mark for the Cowboys. 161 tackles made for 15 missed tackles and 5 ineffective. Average amount of ineffective tackles is probably around that 6-7 range. They're at 5, and the average missed tackles is 15 and 17, so at the lowest end of that. The second half is starting right now, by the way. And then we go to the Dogs at 89.25%. So they're actually defending on a better level on an effective tackle percentage. Massive hit to start off this second half. 191 tackles made, 19 missed tackles and 4 ineffective. So they're 2 above the highest of the average there of 17 on the missed tackle department. And they're underneath the ineffective area. They're underneath. I think ineffective was... I'll have to get a good read of it again, but I think it was 6-7, or it might have been more 5, I can't remember. 6 errors for the Dogs, 5 errors for the Cowboys, and 2 penalties conceded for the Cows, 1 penalties for the Dogs. And then ruck infringement was 3-1 Cowboys' way. So Cowboys a little more ill-disciplined defensively. The Dogs actually were a bit better defensively. But obviously the scoreline isn't reflecting that. But the second half has started. The Dogs on fit tackle will kick this ball from their own 40. Obviously hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Nace says Cooper Toy scored. Cooper Toy has not scored. It's been Hylam Lukey, Robert Darby, Zach Labart, Robert Derby, and Kai O'Donnell, and Justin Matamua. Everyone who has scored is someone you probably wouldn't know. You haven't seen anybody who you don't really know scoring so far. Third tackle in for the Cowboys. They're at the 50. Mai says, good to see you again. I'm not reading your full name out, Mai. I'm not reading that out. Fourth tackle out to 40. Brent says, just turn it down when the Titans play. No, Brent, we're going to turn it up even more. Now, this is as high as it goes. I usually just turn this down because it makes it easier to edit my videos rather than the streams. Fifth tackle for the Cows. And they're going to put this ball up into the corner. This is a good attack and set here from the Cowboys. The Bulldogs will drop the ball. It's going to be 6 again. Cowboys get the ball. Cowboys get the ball 10 metres out. First tackle. Get around your minty. Chair boys, was it Paulo who scored, then second and fourth try? Online say Derby. Oh yeah, I thought it was Paulo. I thought it was Paulo. No, it must have been Robert Derby. That must be my bad, bro. That must be my bad. I've gone with the other wing. That's my bad then. Damn, I thought that was Jackson Paulo, but no, it is Robert Derby. So fourth tackle now for the Cowboys. I thought it was Jackson Paulo. Maybe I'm completely incorrect here. I'm not usually that bad with it. So fifth tackle now for the Cowboys at the 5. My apologies. Anyone know if the 6 tackles with Gus podcast is coming back? Are you just Googling like rugby league podcasts right now, Spencer? Are you just Googling it? Paulo scored 1. I feel like he had but it's got Robert Derby here on twice. I would trust their word over what I said, but I thought I saw him. I thought he scored. So 4th tackle here for the Dogs, and they're going to get this ball to the 30. 5th tackle. Going back to Reece Walsh, having a good second half of the season. Nathan Cleary was superb from when I started following you, Blaze. Thoughts? Nathan Cleary is one of the best NRL players of all time. So first tackle for the Cowboys, they'll be at the 35. Yeah, you'll see a lot of new names here across both these teams. This game will go straight into that next game, by the way. Like, quite literally straight into the next one. There's not a break between this and the Dragons versus the Knights. Third tackle here for the Cowboys. They'll be at the 45. Spencer, you'll love the footy show, mate. Yeah, definitely check out the footy show every Thursday night, Spencer. Oh, another knock on here. Oh, no, it is a knock on. It is going to be a knock on there. Another knock on. And that is from Whittimer Greg of the Cowboys, the 21. Yep, Whittimer Greg comes across from the Eels. Is he going to get to a big crack here at the Cowboys this year, you reckon? Is there a decent amount of play at the Eels? But obviously they see a future without him. Good call. That works for me so much better. I'm old. So left-hand side for the Dogs, and now they'll get this ball to the 40. Jonathan Sewer. Good strong run here. Looking to try and get the ball away. Couldn't do it. He'll be at the 45. Good strong run, though. 10 metres and 5 on the post contact. I seriously missed the footy show on Thursday nights. The footy show is a big cultural part of what rugby league was. It was so awesome back in the day before it ended up going to shit. Gordon Chen come Tong at 35, and it's a penalty to the Dogs here. Penalty. Whittimer Greg gives away the knock on, and then a penalty straight away. No, the footy show was a massive part about the culture of rugby league, and everyone watched it, man. But unfortunately, it just when the times moved on, man. People don't really watch TV too much anymore. If they do, they watch it online. They watch Channel 9 online and just watch exactly what they want to watch, kind of deal. Rather than back in the day where you were forced to watch it and you wanted to watch it, kind of deal. So 15 metres out from the line for the Dogs. They go to the right. Alex Conti, then off to... I'm not too sure this is. I'm not too sure who that is. But the Dogs, 10 metres out. Alex Conti and Canterbury, 3 metres out through. Joseph Talpa. It was Alec Lasimi Jones who had the ball that I was struggling to figure out what his name was. Gordon Cham come Tong to Samuel Hughes, and Hughes will be 4 metres away, 4 tackle. If the Dogs score here, the game's still on. They kick it through. Good kick. That's the try time for the doggy woof woofs. The doggy woof woofs will score, and it's Eamon Fitzgibbon, I believe. Eamon Fitzgibbon here for the Dogs will score. And it is 28-10 with a kick to come. That over's looking juicy now. What content are you making during the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Maybe only Australia, bro. We're not a football channel here, but probably I'll still stream the Socceroos games. No, it's a nice kick there from Talpa, and it's a good pick up there from Eamon Fitzgibbon with the one hand. He brings it in and scores it next to the post, so it should be 28-12. And this is the thing with preseason games, guys. Two completely different teams. This Cowboys team is a lot less experienced now than what it had before. And the Dogs, they've just continued with the same inexperience across the entirety of the reserves and the team. So I would not be completely surprised. Jono says, Fatty, Chief, Sterlo, the big man, Matty Johns, and Bono's Thursday footy show was go-to. Daredevil dudes bring back the Biff and the old school footy show. Yeah, the old school footy show was just superb, man. It was unreal. It's something that you just needed to watch every single week if you're a rugby league fan. The same thing goes, I guess, with the AFL, with the AFL footy show. But for rugby league fans, it just was that time of the week where you just had such a good time. But unfortunately, the footy show went away from rugby league and it went more down a path of just fun, which is why I think it kind of ended. And also because Fatty was getting older, Dogs will miss the kick there through Sewer, so it'll be 28-10. Should have got that kick. It'll say 28-10. But it went away from talking purely footy, but also having a bit of fun and banter and laughs to mainly having fun, banter and laughs, and then a bit of footy. I remember at the back end of it, there was like a very brief snippet of what they thought about the rugby league, but then there was just like game shows and games and stuff like that they had beforehand. So it was disappointing. Everyone blames Aaron Molan. Molan, unfortunately, was a bit of an issue, but it wasn't the biggest issue with it. Lager says, this is really looking like Dogs versus Raiders. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It says, history shows 3 teams fall out of the finals every season. Bulldogs. If there was 3 teams off of what I seen last year, if there was 3 teams to fall out of the top 8, well, for starters, I think most people are probably thinking about one team. But if we're going to, I'm going to go get this ladder up from last year. If we're going to say 3 teams miss, I don't think 3 teams miss. I don't think 3 teams miss. The Sharks aren't worse. The Panthers aren't worse. They're better. The Roosters are better. The Broncos, they're fine. They're the same. The Storm, they should be completely fine. And that just leaves the Raiders, the Bulldogs, and the Warriors. And I don't think the Bulldogs miss it. I think the Warriors are a chance, but the Raiders probably won't miss it. But also, they've got a big problem in regards to their halfback position. So I could maybe lean with the Warriors and the Raiders, but I don't know. If the Bulldogs keep up with their form from the second half of the last season, then they'll miss the 8. Fit tackle. Then Erin the Molan killed it. I don't think that she killed it. I think she was a problem with it, but I don't think that she was the one that ultimately killed it. Dogs get the ball to 10. First tackle. 10 minutes gone in the second half. 30 minutes to go of the game. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. It became too commercialised. Exactly. Not the show it was. Absolutely. Absolutely. No A-League streams, in case you're wondering. No A-League streams, Nath. We have done them before, but no A-League streams, unfortunately. Dion says, who do you think the kicker's going to be for the Dogs this year? Surely Stephen Crichton. Surely Stephen Crichton. Is Stephen Crichton not their kicker? Gordon Chan-Kum-Tong is going to come off the field here for the Dogs. 30 minutes left. And Doggies will get this ball here to the 10. Hopefully we see a bit of a better crowd here for the local home team and the Dragons in this next game. Paul says she certainly did not help the show. No, I will 100% agree with that, Paul. I definitely don't think that she helped the show. I don't think that she was the ultimate crux of why that show failed, but I definitely don't think she helped the show, no. But ultimately the reason why it went under was because it went away from being about footy, in my opinion. Because I can specifically remember a time where there was maybe about 5 minutes worth of the show that spoke about footy. You know that like last little snippet that they would do where they'd talk about like a big game. They'd talk about that for 5-10 minutes, and there'd be like a snapshot of the Monday night game between the Titans and the Rabbitohs kind of deal, and they'd spend maybe 30 seconds on it, and then there'd be the Cowboys versus the Panthers, who weren't great at the time, and they'd spend maybe a minute on it kind of deal. And it's an hour show, so if you're only spending 30 seconds to a minute on certain teams and games, it just defeats the whole purpose of it. And that's unfortunately where it went down. Aloga says, can we share the screen, please? Shooter broadcasting restrictions. That's illegal, but the Cowboys, it's not illegal to potentially score right now. Yes, it is. It is very illegal for them to score. It's going to be a knock-on. They're going to go over the sideline as well. And it's going to be the Dogs' ball. But no, due to broadcasting restrictions, I cannot show you the game live. That's why you're looking for a illegal stream. You're currently looking for an illegal stream. Because you know it's illegal. You know it's illegal. A lot of tinkering from Channel 9, I think. Yeah, well, Paul, it's like with the cricket we're seeing right now. The broadcasters have the biggest of say when it comes to shows and when it comes to all these kind of deals. We're seeing it with the cricket now where the Ashes were on Channel 7. They've got the broadcasting rights. But obviously it's always been well known as a Channel 9 product. Now, Richie Benaud was a 9 commentator, and everyone loves Richie Benaud. The Richie Benaud's, they always go to the SCG, they dress up, they've got the microphone, they do the head wobble, and they love it. But they're getting rid of it after this last Ashes. This was the last Ashes they had it, and we love the Richie Benauds. But apparently, it's because Channel 9 cracked the shits about the microphones, and Channel 7 cracked the shits about the microphones that all say Channel 9 on it. Because 7 has the rights, they've effectively had the ability to remove the Richie Benauds, because I don't think they would have given up on it. I think they would have kept that as a permanent tradition and culture of cricket. But Channel 7 apparently cracked the shits about 9 getting promotion, really. And it'll be Dogs who get the ball here at the 33. Mullins married to an AFL player, so they rooted us by putting her on as a host. Is that true? I didn't even know about that. Dogs kick that ball to the 10. Oh, great chase. Great contact battle there. But the Cowboys will come up with it, and they're going to come from their own 10. It'll be second tackle to 15. Gary says, we love Richie over here. Everyone loves Richie Benaud. It's the most disappointing thing to come from this recent Ashes series. Everyone loves the Richie Benauds at the cricket. Love it. Watching from Papua New Guinea. Get around here, Papua New Guinea. Looking forward to your team coming in when they do in a couple of years' time. Yeah, footy show went woke and shot itself in the head. Cowboys will get this ball with a 35-4 tackle. Jared says, the new direction was such a polarising change, basically unrecognisable. Yeah. I think that one of the funniest moments that ever came from the footy show was when Fatty and Chief were on the Gold Coast, and they went on the Vomitron. They went on the Vomitron, and I think Chief was throwing up or something, and they were just shit scared. It's so funny. The Vomitron is that the slingshot where you sit in the ball and you just get shot up into the sky, and then it bounces up and down around there. It's such an awesome ride, but they were shit scared. That was one of the funniest scenes that ever came from the footy show. Third tackle now for the Doggies. They'll be at the 30. And they go to, I nearly said Stephen Crichton. Great run there from the number 16 here for the Dogs. So the number 16 is... Number 16 is that Alakasimi? No, it's Zaimau. There you go. It's the new Warriors recruit, Zaimau. It's a good run. Oh, and eating a hot chili. Yeah, that was gold. How about the That's Gold segment, actually? That's Gold was primetime. That was such a big part of the culture of rugby league. You'd get people at games doing this, which they'd be hoping they'd get on the footy show because everyone would watch it. That's Gold. Always believe in it. What a song. Always believe in. That's Gold. 4 tackle. Vomitron, yeah. The corner trim was hilarious. Both Chief and Fatty spewed. Oh, the Vomitron, yeah. Yeah, when Fatty thought the snake shit on it. Oh, man, good times. That's going to be an awful kick from the Cowboys, and it's going to be a 7 tackle set coming up for the Doggies. That was so hilarious, man. What was the name of that segment again? Danger Dudes. Yeah, Danger. Was it Danger Dudes or Daredevils or something like that? Get on that ostrich. Olivia, I am too big to ride an ostrich. Or you can go feed those ducks. I don't know what you're talking about, ducks, but I'm too big to get on an ostrich. I'm not like that guy who rode a stolen ostrich from the zoo down the center of Philadelphia's main street when the Eagles won their first NFL Super Bowl. I'm sure he would have been a much skinnier dude than me. The jet boats on Daredevil dude. Daredevil dude, there you go. Was gold as well. But see, that was when that was implemented as part of the show and not the show. It became that as the show rather than that being involved with discussion about the rugby league news. Daredevil dudes, yeah. And now you just can't do it. It's the third tackle for the Cowboys. They'll beat the 30. You just can't have a footy show now because mainstream media isn't what it once was. You've got people like myself who do these streams and you talk rugby league through every single game. You've got Bloke in a Bar with Denon Kemp who has his own podcast. You have about 1 trillion podcasts out there for rugby league. You have people doing fun things and talking about it in different ways. So you can't really get that footy fix 100% like you once did have, based off of that same kind of product system. They do have more rugby league podcasts and rugby league shows and whatnot. NRL 360 is probably the biggest one, and people just love to crucify that every 2 seconds. Second tackle over the Dogs, and fair and valid too. Dogs second tackle here at the 28. Hey, maybe that under does get hit, by the way. Hey, maybe I still could be right here. It's 38 points. I think they were saying that the over-under was 48. Well, I just need less than 2 converted tries. Yeah, small talk with the big man was good. Small talk with the big man. Yeah, it just wouldn't have the same hit nowadays as it once did. Real Fan Sports getting around it. Doggies now taking down the 20 on 4th tackle. You're looking forward to your team in the Gold Coast Titans playing this year, Real Fan Sports? Great to see the Americans get behind the Titans. Good stuff, mate. We love it. 20 metres out. Good pass. Taken down to the 15, 5th tackle. The Dogs just need one more try, and they're well and truly back in this game. There's still 22.5 minutes to go here. And Talpa. There's a try for the Doggies. I think he scored. And they have given us a try. 28-14 with the kick to come. The Falcon still gets around. You love the Falcon. Falcon was always gold. But 28-14, the Doggies will score in the corner. Oh, also, when they kept pranking Mario Fenech, that was so good, man. When they had all those toy balls. What are they? Those like plastic ball things? The empty plastic balls that you have in like those ball pits. And they just filled his entire car up with it. I think he scored that. I think he's fine. Hope the big man gets well from his illness. Unfortunately, can't beat the old Father Time, but no, God bless him. Yeah, that's a try. Preseason games? Yep, this is preseason. The regular season doesn't start for about 3 weeks now. 3 weeks now until the regular season starts. They gave Mario so much crap. I know, it's so good, man. Mario is a character. He was a character. Yeah, with Robbo, little shit. Mario is good value. 20 minutes to go here of this game. The Cowboys lead 28-14. Sewer going for a conversion from the sideline for the Dogs. This is a big kick here to bring it back within a 2 converted try game. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. Sewer will miss the kick again, and it will stay 28-14. I always see the clip of Mario giving that cup of tea to, the cup of tea to a man with one arm, but on a saucer, and Mario is just drinking the tea in front of him the whole time. Yeah, and he's just holding the cup. Obviously, he's got one arm, so he can't do anything with it, and he's just there talking, and he's just got... How is Mario not realizing it? You know what I mean? Like, it's just... How does he not figure it out? That's why I thought I was confused at first. Yeah, we've got 2 games today. These are the only games this weekend. And then next week we have pretty much all teams. We do have every single team play next week in the preseason. And then the week after you'll see every team minus these 4 teams because these are the 4 teams that'll be in Vegas. Oh, Doggies lose the ball. And that's not a way to start off your next set. That is Zion Ma'u with the drop ball. Mario Fenech, did he pass away? Why is my brain thinking maybe? Why? I think maybe. Did he? No, he's alive still. Why did my brain think that too? No, I think. Yeah, no, it doesn't have him passed away on here. No, I'm pretty certain. No, I saw him a couple of years back. Oh, no, I'm thinking 2019, though. It's when I ran into him at a rugby league game in Addo Stadium. I wonder. Yeah, I'm not sure. Didn't the show take the piss out of Ian Roberts for punching the shit out of Gary Jack? It was that good, it made it to the national years. Yes, that is something that would definitely have happened. Oh, no, I think Murray's still cracking on, but he's got like a massive. He's got like health problems, maybe. Maybe he's got like health problems. I hope I'm wrong. But I feel like that's why maybe my brain was ringing a bell there. Rumours has it that's a penalty to the Cowboys. Rumours has it Matty John's going to run the ball up and try and save New South Wales Origin team as a Queenslander. Wish they keep Daly. Matty Johns will be just as good as his brother's NRL skills. Queensland is the greatest of all greatest. You could have Muhammad Ali himself teach them how to fight, and we'd still slap him. Just to slap him. Yeah, Murray's very sick, yeah. Real Fan Sports says, so mad finally have money to get out to Vegas, but don't have vacation days yet to get out there. Well, hopefully the Titans play next year, Real Fan Sports. We'll see you there. Because there's still 6 teams to play, inclusive of the Perth Bears, but there's still the Tigers, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Storm, and the Eels who haven't played yet. And there's still 2 more years left at Vegas. Cowboys, 10 metres out. Now 2 metres out, second tackle. Second tackle, 2 metres away. Jackson Bolo, he will roll the ball out right. And Weddermer Greg, I think that is, taking down to 10. No, it's not. I think it was, actually. Now Cowboys are 2 metres away, 4 tackle. 4 tackle. We'll have a good time in Vegas. The Titans are there. Real Fan Sports. You can wear your Titans polo and everything. And Mason Barber, he'll be taking down to the 10. That's it. Titans versus Tigers in Vegas. It's just meant to be. I think it's Titans Dolphins, but if it is Titans Tigers, well, it'll be good to see the Titans get another win against a team, because we always beat the Tigers. We just, for some reason, always do. Second tackle now. Besides, I think like round 20 last year, we still smacked them in round 27, but we just, for some reason, always can find a way to beat the Tigers. It's the only team we have a winning record against. Third tackle. What do you think of Vegas games? Well, I was in Vegas last year, Paul, so I went to the Sharks Raiders. No, Sharks, Panthers, Raiders, Warriors. I went to that. I loved it. It was an awesome experience, man. Allegiant Stadium is just awesome, and it was a great atmosphere if you went there with the right intentions. If you're a casual viewer, I don't reckon you would have bought into it too much. But if you went there with like our thought process, you would have just had an absolute ball. So I love it. I love that they're doing this internationally. And I've seen, and this is the thing, right? My analytics, nowhere near the size of the NRL analytics, but my analytics of NRL viewership went from like 0.2% of an American audience, which I think came specifically, that's a knock on for the Cowboys. The Dogs are away here, taking down the 50, 0 tackle. And I think that came from mainly my Chicago Bulls streams and whatnot. So the 0.2% was more so from my already audience. I didn't think any Americans were really watching any of our streams and watching the games. But when we started Vegas, it went from 0.2% to like 1% of all viewers. And then now it's at like 5%. So you've seen the growth of American viewers of this sport. And it's like you're not necessarily seeing an insane amount social media-wise or anything like that. You're never going to. That's not the whole purpose of it. The purpose of it is for the financial reasons. But I've seen the growth on a very small level, and if I'm seeing that growth, then the rugby league itself, NRL itself, is seeing an even more significant growth because people are gambling on it. Is he onside here? If this is onside, it's a try. Is he onside here? And they're going to call it a try here, but I don't know if he was onside. It's going to be close. Titans also do good over the wires. You are right there. Martin says you are 100% right. In regards to what? I think he is onside. It's close though. BK members trip to Vegas. No, if when the Titans do play, I'm telling you, I'm gonna definitely do something over there. It's gonna be awesome. No, he says footy and gambling. I'm in heaven. Yeah, it's a try. So 28-18 with the kick to come. Doggies on the comeback here. 15.5 minutes to go of the game. Perth Bears have done a proper job poaching players. They need to be more ruthless. Smithster, I'll be honest with you, I'm not impressed with how the Perth Bears have operated. I'm not impressed. I think that the players they've got are okay at best. Who is a game breaker that the Perth Bears have signed? Brother T says, how's Mason Barber being Cowboys fullback? I think he's been fine. He hasn't necessarily been the standout, but I think he's been fine. I think he's been fine. You couldn't really have too much of a problem with a lot of the Cowboys, but is he still on the field now? Because this is a much different Cowboys team than what the first half was, and he was the fullback for the first half when they did lead 28-6 or whatever it was. And again, they're going to miss another kick. My gosh, Dogs can't make a kick to save their lives right now. Jared Fun Money says, yeah, and I've been seeing more American reactor channels have more NRL coverage since Vegas started. Well, as you can see here, Real Fan Sports, one of my boys, he is in Texas. I think that's where you are, Zach. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But he's in Texas. He does like a rugby league reaction stuff, and he does some streams for the NRL and that kind of jazz too. So, you know, he is a part of that scene that you're talking about where the Americans are tuning in a lot more. Real Fan Sports says that's actually not a bad growth. They've made it a lot easier to watch now too. This is what I'm saying. But the ultimate intention behind Vegas was not for the growth in audience. It actually wasn't that. It was for the growth in Vegas money. It's for the growth in people gambling on it because the NRL gets the kickback from your gambling. Whatever bet you put on the NRL is making money from you. That is the whole point of the gambling and the Vegas and all that kind of stuff. Any growth is just beneficial and a positive. That is a bonus, realistically. Second tackle of the Dogs at the 33. 14.5 minutes to go here in the game. It's just a bonus. It's not for that reason. The American... Oh, Bulldogs here. Good run. Good run. Taken down to the 40 on third tackle, the Cowboys side of the field. The Bulldogs, they're coming, man. They are coming. Fourth tackle at 25. Louisiana, but close enough. No, Texas, Louisiana, same thing. Same thing. Same, but different, mate. Dogs give that ball out 20 metres away. They're 15 metres out now. Fit tackle. If the Dogs score here, we've got a damn well game on. They'll kick this ball into the corner. Don't forget, we'll be alive for Dragons Knights right after this. Dogs go up for a dog. Try time unless he touches this. I think this is a try. They've called it a try. And it is a try time for the Doggies. It's 28-22 with a kick to come. Jono says, final late this year. Titans. Yeah, Jono, I agree with that. I need to remind everybody, this is a preseason game. If you're a Dogs fan, it's great you're coming back, but who cares? If you're a Cowboys fan, it's great you led the first half, and it's shit that you're giving up this lead, but also who cares? It is a preseason game. It is a preseason. We need to reiterate, we need to really focus the old noggin that regardless of what happens here, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh, Real Fan Sports, you are a disgraceful man. Yeah, Queensland, New South Wales, same thing. You are a disgrace. That is just absolutely disgusting what you've just said there. Don't you dare try and allow New South Wales to have our champion status. No way. No way. We are the champions in Queensland. You can't give New South Wales that. They want that. I guarantee you all that. Yeah, that's why Nath laughed at it. He's laughing at it because he's a New South Wales fan. He would desperately want our premiership trophy success of Origin and currently the NRL and currently the AFL and currently quite literally everything. But anyway, that's going to be 12 minutes 10 to go here of the game. 28-24 to the Cowboys with 12 minutes left. Spencer says, I finished in the top 3% on NRL footy tips last season and top 8% for AFL tips. Smidster, what are we going to do with you, mate? Brother T, so I feel like the Vegas games are just going to help the Rugby Union World Cup that's going to be played in 2031 in the States. Sure, I guess you could argue that. You could make that argument. But I don't think it's a negative on the NRL because of that. Because again, I've seen the growth analytics on my channel, let alone what the NRL would be seeing and the financial kickback they'd be getting. Billy says preseason challenge does matter, sort of. The winner of the last preseason challenge went on to win the NRL premiership the same year. Sure, but why are you only referring to last year? Because if you look at every year before that, the winner of the preseason challenge didn't even make the top 8. Didn't even make the top 8 for the most part. It doesn't matter. Do you think that this game here matters between these two teams? Because I want you to go and look through the team list of the Bulldogs and the team list of the Cowboys and tell me how many players from both teams will feature in the starting 13, let alone the overall 19. Kate says, man, what is going on, Cowboys? You're playing so well. Preseason. Second tackle now for the Cowboys at 35. I know it's preseason. Has been a shit show. This is preseason. Third tackle now at the 40. Third tackle. 11 minutes to go here in the game. Sean says, people stream breakout sport and they will learn, not the shit that I had to go through before I found this stream. What were you watching beforehand, Shauna? Cowboys now will be at the 35 on fit tackle. 10 minutes to go here of the game, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. The Bulldogs were down massively. 22-0 at one stage. And now it's 28-24 to the Cowboys. It's just the kicking for the Cowboys that's really hurt them. And Bulldogs will get the ball at the 5. Jonathan Sewer, he'll bring it to the 10. He's been looking pretty good. He's away to the 20, the 25, the 30. Great run from Jonathan Sewer of the Dogs. And that is a huge, huge run to start him off. And now the Dogs will get to the 38 on second tackle. We might be we are having a stoppage in play here. We do have a stoppage in play as he's just checking on the welfare of a player. Todd Payten should be sacked years ago. Potential of first sacked coach this year, Jono. Potential. Who else besides Todd Payten is high potential of first sacked coach? Todd Payten. Then you've also got Anthony Seibold is a shout. I don't think there's many coaches on high alert as we currently speak. Justin Holbrook just recently signed with the Knights. Josh Hannah's just recently signed with the Titans. Obviously, Wayne Bennett's not got a shout. Craig Belling's not got a shout. Trent Robinson, no. Ivan Cleary, no. Jason Riles, new. No, it's really just those two for mine at the moment. Unless you want to talk about Benji, but I think that they're backing him into the end of the earth. They're Benji Marshall at the Tigers. Left-hand side, forward tackle for the Dogs. They'll be 50 metres out. All right, guys, have a good one, mate. We'll see you on the next stream. Real Fan says, was on this random webcam chat website the other day and ran to a bunch of people from Australia who knew who you were. Oh, well, there you go. What random website? Webcam website? Dogs? That's a knock on cows. It's a knock on cows. 6 again coming up for the Doggies. Here we go. The Dogs are going to be 20 metres out from the line, down by 4. Here is your chance, Dogs fans, to complete the comeback. Here's your chance. Any less than finals and Todd will be off. Well, Reese, I can't see the Cowboys make the finals. I can't see him. Can someone please update me on that Pakistan versus Netherlands T20 World Cup game, please? Don't forget, guys, Dragons Knights after this, and then we will be live later on for India versus USA and the T20 World Cup as well. Cows doing cows things like their usual second half performance. That's true. You can see the Dragons warming up in the background. You couldn't believe it. The Dogs might be able to lead this game still. Jonathan Sewer, he's been really strong in the second half. He's still pumping and gets the offload away. And now Dogs are 10 metres away from the line. First tackle. It's like a meagle. It's called Umingle. Oh, fair enough. Second tackle at the 3. How did I come up in conversation, Real Fan? How did I come up in conversation? 6 again for the Dogs. They're 10 metres away. Here they come. Here they come. Conti smacked the 15 first tackle. This is the exact reason why you don't bet on the preseason. Absolutely. Absolutely. See Hull KR beat Loch Lane 104-0. I was actually going to stream the Super League this year, but hold on. I was going to stream it, but I'm in Vietnam and the time slot is awful here. And I'll be in Philippines and the time slot will be awful there. All of Asia and Australia, time slot for English Super League is awful. But the Dogs, 1 metre out from the line, fit tackle. Here's your chance here, Doggies. Here's your chance. Here's your chance. They kick it through. Little grubber. Knock on. Drop ball. 6 again coming up for the Dogs at the 10. Here we go. How many insults did I get called Real Fan Sports? They saw the NRL stuff in my background. Yeah, but how did I get brought up if they saw the NRL stuff in your background? Preseason or not being 28-0 up to this is shocking. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Stephen. I don't disagree with it. Doesn't mean that I think that this is what I will see from the Cowboys this year. But you're right. It's still professional players. So I don't disagree with that at all. Billy Slater would be the ideal coach for the Cows. Sure, but he won't do it. He's just waiting for that Storm gig, I reckon. I reckon he's just waiting for that gig. Because he's the coach of Queensland. I don't think he'll give that up until he's got that solidified spot at the Storm. But Craig Bellamy was just re-signed until 2028, so that's still a couple of years away now. I don't think that Billy Slater goes to the Cows. So the Dogs are at the 10. They go out to the left. Here we go. 5 metres out. First tackle. 7 minutes and 44 seconds to go here of this game. We're starting off the year with a banger again. And they push back to the 10. And Jones, Alakasimi Jones, he's just pushing off a couple. Now he'll be 5 metres out. Second tackle. Second tackle 5 metres away. And Conti, short ball into the line. Again, 8 metres out now, third tackle. Cowboys, they're not usually known for their old defense in their first team, let alone the inexperienced ones. But the Dogs are still being held out now. They're back at the 12-metre line, or 12 metres out, fourth tackle. Storm will coach Storm. Slater will coach Storm and Smith will coach Bronx. I wouldn't be surprised with that. Oh, that's an unbelievable try-saving tackle there. That is an unbelievable try-saving tackle from Liam Sutton of the Cowboys, and the Dogs will knock it on, and the Cowboys will get the ball at the 10. 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go here of this game. That is an unbelievable try-saving tackle there. It looked like he was 100% going to get it, but then he just loses that ball. He loses the ball. Cowboys get away with it. Smith will coach the Broncos. It'd be so funny, but you got to remember he was a Broncos fan growing up. I know it would feel weird for Storm fans, but he was a Broncos fan growing up. He's from Queensland, obviously. And penalty to the Cowboys for not packing the scrum quick enough from the Dogs. Going from bad to worse here from that set for the Dogs. Knock the ball on and then give away the penalty on the next scrum. This goal line defence is promising. Hopefully the first team shows its tenacity. Oh, debatable. They're still going with 24 points here. To the inexperience. But again, this is a much stronger Cowboys team. Not necessarily now than it was in the first half, actually, but it's a much stronger Cowboys team than the Bulldogs today. So Cowboys now at the 45. Cowboys defense is not something I would be backing this year, man. If you're going to back something, you obviously back their attack, but you wouldn't be backing in their defense. They've shown no progression in regards to that. They've actually shown regression over the years. Good to see Netherlands do okay against Pakistan. Oh, yeah, I don't think anybody told me. What was the... Oh, I'll go have a look. 98 for 3, 50 runs and 52 balls. Like, Netherlands aren't going to win that, but they've given a good crack. They've given that a good crack. Oh, here we go. Cowboys down the wing. They're 15 metres away from the line. Fifth tackle. US did beat them in the last World Cup. Who, Pakistan? Oh, gosh. And that's going to be 6 again for the Cowboys. That is rough. Jeez, these last few moments of the Bulldogs have been all over the shop. And Cowboys through. Cowboys win the game. They will score under the post. It's 32-24 with a kick to come. And it will be a conversion from right in front to make it 34-24. The Cowboys are going to win. Paul says the Knights will see they paid big overs for Dylan Brown this season. It's a tough one because I can see your point, but also the way he played in that Pacific Cup for New Zealand was absolutely spectacular. But again, he is a 6, he is not a 7. So if the Knights play him in the 7, I don't back it. But if the Knights play him in the 6, you could see him absolutely kill it. But also, for New Zealand, he's got a much better team there around him that helps him to dominate compared to Newcastle. I do think that if he's got the right players around him, he is incredible. And you don't say that about everybody. I would say that about him, though. He is incredible when he has the right players around him. But the Knights, I just don't know if they're the right players around him. We beat them in the Super Overs. Good, Real Fan Sports. They've been our arch nemesis here on this channel these last couple of weeks. We had to deal with them over that Pakistan-Australia series that we played all of our B team, and Pakistanis thought that it was our best team that ever did face the cricket pitch. Broncos signed Cameron Smith coaching staff. Jason Riles, Bellamy protege. We'll go back to Storm. Slater won't take a full coaching gig. I think eventually Slater will. Eventually, not now, but I think he definitely will eventually. Smith, yeah, I know Smith is with the Broncos now, but he's not the coach. We're talking about coaching. Jason Riles is pretty content with Parramatta for mine. I do think Billy's just waiting for that Storm gig to open up. I'm going to do the US-India game in a couple of hours. Yeah, I'm going to be on for it too. I was trying to sleep at work, so I'll be awake, but this chair sucks, so I can't sleep. Yeah, I'm going to be live for USA versus India, and then I'll be live for all 3 games tomorrow. I actually think Afghanistan can beat New Zealand. I do. I think that's a sneaky upset potential there. And that will go over the sideline. So, Cowboys will get the ball at the 35 with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the game. Another wicket. Netherlands giving it a cracking shot. No way do the Netherlands win that. You're kidding. There's no way. 98 for 4. No way. Bubba Azama's still in too. No way do they win that. You're kidding. 3.5 to go of the game. Talk about getting off at Redfern, not Central Station, doggies. So close. The comeback was strong, but just unfortunately not strong enough. Whitmer Greig for the Cowboys brings this ball to the 45 on the dog side of the field. So there will be about a 10-minute break between this game and the next game starting up, by the way. There will be about a 10-minute break. This has been a quick game, actually. Not been too many stoppages. Cowboys drop the ball, and Dogs will pick it up at their 30. Oh, they're going to get away. Gets the offload away. Taken at the 43, 0 tackle. Didn't Bellamy want to retire recently? Weird he signed for 2028. Yeah, he always says this. He always says this, man. I do feel like 2028 will be the last of it, though. Reese says, didn't Bellamy... Oh, that's right. I'm finally going to ride the new Skibadoo coaster on Tuesday. I heard it's pretty much just the same. Without the lights. With lights, sorry, and it's not dark in that room anymore. Second tackle, Conti runs his ball into the line, 25 metres out. Third tackle now. And Dogs are going to be 15-10. 8 metres away from the line, fourth tackle. I'll reply to you in a second, Alfred. They're 8 metres out here. Dogs, Conti over the top. Try time, Doggies. Try time for the number 23 for the Dogs. And that is Mikey Nassar. Mikey Nassar, the Dogs, will give the Dogs one final chance here of trying to win this preseason game. There's a minute 57 to go. The time will stop, and a conversion will need to be made to win it. There is no extra time because this is preseason. Alfred Buck says, how will you grow the international game? How will I grow the international game? Or are you saying are you asking how to grow the international game? Are you saying how to grow it in general? Or are you saying how will I grow it? Hell yeah, I'm trying to do at least 2 or 3 a week. Took a little break the past month with Strengths Reset. Yeah, fair enough, man. I'm going to be live for every single game I can do, as long as it doesn't impact the NRL preseason. NRL is always priority in this channel, but I'll be live for 3 games tomorrow of the Cricket World Cup, 3 games on Monday, 3 games on Tuesday, 3 games on Wednesday, 3 games on Thursday, and then we've got the NRL preseason next week. So it'll be 2 NRL games into that 3rd game of the T20 World Cup, but they will get the conversion this time, so it's 34-30 with 1 minute 14 to go. The Dogs have 1 set. The Dogs have 1 set. So again, Cade, you keep updating the score here in the chat, bro. The score is currently live on the screen. You can see the score here, so people don't need to see the update of the score. And also, secondly, we are commentating the game, so we are watching the game. So you're updating the try count every single time. We know what the score is, bro. we know what's happening, man. Josh Hannay should have replaced Todd, and Todd go to the Titans. John, are you how dare you? How dare you suggest something so absolutely blasphemic? That is a disgrace. How dare you? That is nearly a timeout worthy offense there. That is nearly a timeout worthy offense. My goodness. Alfred says, how do we grow? Well, it is growing in the areas that it's already here. I think that the only way to grow is ultimately the Super League needs to be better. It does. Because then you can basically filter into Europe. Hold on, let me read this set. Second tackle, 40, 45, 50, over the sideline. That's the game. He bought off more than he could chew there. He bit off more than he could chew, and he goes over the sideline, and that will be the end of the game. Ultimately, the Super League is the best chance to grow this game because we've already got New Zealand, Australia, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, the likes, right? We've already got this area captured. The Super League is a great chance for European players to play and grow there. And South African players, I would love to get a bit more of a capture on South Africa because they already like rugby union. It'll never be bigger than rugby union, but it's because it got held back a while back. Long story short, I think the NRL needs to buy the Super League, make it into a gangbusters product, and I think that's the way you grow it. Because we can't grow any more than it already is in this area of the world. But anyway, guys, that is going to be 34-30 to the Cowboys. They will win the game. We're going to jump off because in 5 minutes' time, we'll be live for the next game, which is the Dragons versus the Knights, where we'll keep this conversation rolling. Obviously, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Preseason is preseason, guys. Take it for what it's worth. This is not the full-strength teams of either of these teams. Let's just watch